When we walk on by, everybody sees that Scentsy smile. I spray it by the sink so people won't smell that bathroom stink, yeah. This is how we roll, many kind of scents out of control. Full-size world with no black smoke, come on, join the club, yo. Girl, smell that body spray. Girl, smell that body spray. Girl, smell that body spray. Smells good. Girl, smell that body spray. Girl, smell that body spray. Girl, smell that body spray. Smells good when we're going to a show. This is what we see. Everybody wants to know about Scentsy. I've got scents up in our bag and I ain't afraid to show 'em. Show 'em. Show 'em. Show it out. Check it out. Fun, 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 yeah. Safe, 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 yeah. Join, 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 yeah. Fun, 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 yeah. It's Scentsy, man. Come on, join Scentsy. We're Scentsy and we know it. Hey!
Karma's a bitch.
Queen of Karma.
Hello, everyone, and how are we all doing today? I hope that you're all having a wonderful, amazing day and that you are ready to get into the second half of Heidi and Orville telling us the changes in Scentsy that are now in effect. Many of them were in effect come March 1st. So it is good to know what is going on over there. People are not happy, and hopefully I'll be showing you some of that today. Joe is here. Good to see you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And Violet is here. I'm so glad that you could make it. I hope your internet is doing well. Call Wendy for a good time. She'll make you a song like that. I mean, that was pretty catchy, wasn't it? They're Scentsy and they know it. Yeah, smell those scents. I was like, making a whole song about smelling people's body odor might not be the marketing that you think it is, but I mean, you tried. You tried. Oh, Violet, I'm sorry to hear that. Do they know like when it's going to come back? Are they working on it? What is going on over there? This is why we need Ashmu Forest data centers all across the world, you see? So that this doesn't happen. Anyway, I found one of our favorite, or if you're new to the channel, I will show you one of your favorite, most amazing Scentsy distributors. And that is good old incandescent wax melts. And they've been at the Scentsy thing for forever. Since I was doing Scentsy, before I was doing Scentsy, they've been doing it since. And so I thought it would be good just to go over their announcement quickly of the changes, just so that we're all on the same page. And yes, this is what the website looks like. Very professional. And it says, effective March 1st, 2025. Scentsy is completely changing and simplifying the majority of their bundle and save options. We're introducing a fresh, streamlined approach to discounts. Here's what you can expect. Again, this is done by somebody who's in Scentsy, so they're putting a positive spin on it, right? Pick 6, get a 10% discount. This will replace the pick 3 and buy 5, get 1 free bundles currently offered. Which a lot of people are upset about that because the whole like pick 3 and buy 5, get 1 free were really big sellers. They were used to sell Scentsy quite often. People like buy 1, get 1 free. Telling people if you buy 6, you get a 10% discount isn't as much of a save, and it's not as exciting for people when you try to sell it, right? And it says this will now include Scentsy oils. So fragrance flower bundles will remain pick 3 to save 10%. Scent Circle 3-pack bundles will remain pick 2 to save 10%. Buy any non-licensed warmer and 6 Scentsy bars, you save 10%. Buy any diffuser and 6 Scentsy oils, you save 10%. Buy any Scentsy air product and 6 Scentsy pod twin packs to save 10%. Yes, even the Scentsy air purifier. Oh, yeah. Classic Clean, Laundry Love, and Moisture Medley bundles will be available at a 10% discount, but with updated product offerings. The following bundles will be discontinued. Pick 3 Clean, Pick 3 Laundry, and all Scentsy systems and Perfect Scentsy systems. For the buy 5, get 1 free Scentsy bar bundle, please feel free to contact us. While the discount will not be available starting March 1st on our website, we will be able to place the order for you on our workstation, which is a little bit confusing because it's like, okay, so wait, are you still doing it then? Like what does that mean? Just pathetic. I'm ready to call on Passive. You know that the internet people are messing up where Violet lives when she's like, listen, I might need some on Passive. Okay. They might save me from this situation. You know, you got to be in hard times. Satellite internet time, I guess. Yeah. 6 sounds like a lot. It is. Especially when you consider that here in Canada, 1 bar is about $10 to $12 now. It was like $8 when I was doing it. It's gone up a little bit. So think about $10 each. I think that's a pretty fair price to go with. That incorporates where we all live. So it's like, yeah, you're spending at least $60 before taxes, and then you're getting 10% off, which is not at all the same as getting a whole bar for free. It's not, right? So they're kind of like, you're messing it up for us distributors, because that was one of the main things that they used to kind of like sell. They would say, you know, you can get a free bar, so go with this bundle. And people seem to really like that. Even when I was doing Scentsy, most people, when they bought bars, they were doing that every like few months. So it's not looking good. People are not happy about this at all. On Passive tomorrow, OES coming. Well, I'll believe it when I see it. That isn't the only changes that are happening, though. Decline, thank you. There are some Scentsy host rewards for spring 2025. Again, this started on March 1st. And this might not seem like a big deal, but these are the rewards that are given to people when they host a Scentsy party. Scentsy depends very much on the party model, the good old party model. So most of their sales are either through customers that they know personally, like friends and family, or it's through these parties that they host. They host at-home parties where they'll come to your house, set up a booth, and then they'll do a pitch for your friends and family, let them try some of the products, and then, you know, bleed them dry of all their money before they leave. But they also do online parties, and online parties are a huge thing. I'm sure that you've been invited to an online MLM party, whether with Scentsy or another company. Somebody has most certainly reached out to you at some point and said, will you host a party for me? And you probably went, well, no, I don't have anyone that's really going to come, and I don't know enough about this. And then they go, well, I'll do all the work. You just have to invite people. And then they run an online party where they basically create a Facebook group and then fill the Facebook group up for a week with Scentsy promos where they tell people, okay, place your orders through the online website through this party link. And then depending on the amount of orders that the people at your party buy, you as the host can then receive a gift. It's supposed to be like an incentive, of course, for the host to put on the party. Otherwise, the host doesn't really get anything out of it. Unless they've already signed up as a distributor, which is a goal of also having the party to get them to sign up. Hello, Chelsea. Good to see you. I hope you're having a great day. I'm glad you're here. So, like, there's no incentive to have a party unless you're getting something, unless you're a distributor. If you're just a customer and you're having a party, the only incentive are these host rewards, right? Like you don't really get anything out of it then because the person who's putting on the party is the one that's making commissions off all those sales. And this is what they use to try to get you to join, because they say to you, well, we can do a party with you and all your friends and family, and I can make all of the money off of it, which I'm fine with, or you could sign up right now and have a party, use it to basically start up your business because it's like your first month of commission. So your friends and family will support you. They'll buy some things. And like a lot of people's family and friends kind of do support them. They end up at this party like, oh no, I don't want my friend to feel like I'm a bad friend. So maybe I'll buy something small, you know, it happens. So it's like, if these people though, if they're not getting anything out of the party, you really are going to have to push more people to join as a distributor to even put on the party. Right? Because it's like, well, I'll make all the money or you join and then you get to make it all. It's like, I feel like it's also an issue because more people are going to be pushing, oh, well, join so that, you know, the host rewards aren't that great. So it's actually better if you just join us and then do your party, right? Like, I'm like, that already happened. And it's just going to get worse now that the host rewards are not as good as they once were. So it says new party, total tiers, and definitions coming March 1st. We're making changes to host rewards effective March 1st. You already said coming March 1st. We get it's effective March 1st. Thank you. Incandescent. Host rewards, tiers, and host deals. So you'll notice the term host deals has replaced half-price credits in the spring-summer 2025 catalog. So here's the new host rewards breakdown. The party total is the amount that your party makes. So you put on a party, hopefully at your party you sell a few warmers and some wax bars, and you're making at least $250. Which is a lot. I believe it used to be $200, which was still like a lot, but they've upped it a bit. So that's what that means. And then your host credit is the amount that you get that you can then use to buy product with. It's not money that they hand you. They're not like, oh, you sold $399.99 worth of stuff. So here's $39.99. That's not how it works. It's like you have $39.99 now in your back office that you can now use to put towards a product. And then the host deals are kind of like extra deals that you can use in order to get a discount, if that makes sense. So depending on how much you sell, you can get more discounts. So no, licensed products cannot be purchased using host rewards, perpetual party rewards, or in bundle and save. Some bundle and saves require redemption of multiple host deals, previously half-price credits, and some products are excluded from host rewards. So that's the other thing, is that it's not like now you can just buy anything on the website. So if you have like your eye set on a certain warmer, you think to yourself, oh, well, I'll be able to have a party and then maybe I'll buy it. Make sure that that warmer is on the list, because there's a specific list of things that you can use your host credits and rewards and that on, and it might not be on that list. And that's actually happened to me before, where I was like, oh, I really want this one thing. So maybe at the end of the party, we can get this thing. And then, you know, my friend was like, oh no, that one's not included. You'll have to pick a different thing to get. And it was kind of like, oh, well, that's shitty. What the hell, you know? But as you can see, these changes basically make it harder for the distributors to sell these products. It makes it harder for them to talk people into hosting parties. And I fear that it's also going to force distributors to pressure people to join more upon hosting parties. And just none of that is good. Hello, Barrett. Happy Mardi Gras Day. Have a good one. Enjoy it. So that's like kind of like the main changes that are going on that you would need to know going into this video if you, for whatever reason, didn't watch yesterday's, which I have also shared in the description, I believe. If not, then I will after the stream. I'll double check. But just be sure that you also check out yesterday's. So now let's just get right into the rest of this video. We left off right after they had shared with us their new promo video where Orville was holding his phone to the screen to show us.
Is that Mediterranean?
So as you can see, holding it to we watched the whole video like this. Like, thank you. Thank you, Orville.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
We got hooked on that about 15 years ago, and then
Yes,
it went away.
so good.
We go through the
So
same
good.
problems you go through, so. Okay. I hope that was a better way of doing it. Now we'll be able to...
But
Holding the phone to the screen to show us the video was not at all the better way of doing it. Waiting for the next family hostage video cameo. Yes, they had their son come on and basically do a whole thing like, I went into business school so that I could work for Scentsy because I really want to work for Scentsy. And it was very, very cringe and felt very forced.
post that,
excited about
and
the
you'll be able
yeah.
to see that right
And then we
away.
don't have to show plugs. And anyway, yeah, it was. We just thought, let's do a video.
Yeah. So we'll post it on our page, and then here, and then later, well, actually, we got to figure out how to do that, so. You saw how high-tech we were. We didn't want to take the chance of screen sharing. So.
Okay. Okay, a couple other things from World Tour. The aha moments that you had and like the golden nuggets. I had a mini golden nugget moment at the Meridian World Tour. And Superstar Director talked about
I'm like, wait, I know what an aha moment is. What's a golden nugget moment? That just sounds wrong.
hearing from another Superstar Director something that she thought was so amazing, and in the 20 years she's been with Scentsy,
Chris says, I had a nightmare about these glasses last night. That does sound horrifying.
you know, that was news to her, and that it was something that she was going to pick up and start using in her business. So Superstar Director to Superstar Director, you can still learn from each other. So we know that you had lots of nuggets and things that you learned.
Golden
And
nugget.
so if you, I don't know where, maybe if there's a World Tour site or in your groups and stuff, just start sharing those nuggets. Share the great things that you learned with others, because there is somebody out there
Please keep your nuggets to yourself.
that could be in Scentsy for 20 years that hasn't heard that. So
And as you shared, it gets cemented in your mind as a good idea.
Yeah.
A lot of times you get good ideas, but if you don't do anything with it, then it just goes away. So all the good ideas you got to share in order to keep.
Okay, and one other tidbit about SFR.
Okay.
We do have a little bit of limited seating this year.
Yeah.
We didn't have that last year, but this year we're in a smaller, I think it's the only venue that we could find.
We should be okay.
But yes, we should be okay based on what we're hoping, but.
That's interesting that they had trouble finding a venue. I wonder why that was. They're all like, last year we didn't have a limit. This year we have trouble finding a venue. Maybe we should start letting all the venues know. Do not let the cults come and rent you.
If you want to go to SFR, get on and register as soon as you can.
And plan now, like figure out what it's going to take in order to get there in a way that's not going to burden your family, a way that will bless your family. So how many parties are you going to have to host?
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm sorry. If you don't know what SFR is, that stands for the Scentsy Family Reunion. So they do what's called the Scentsy Family Reunion. It's kind of like their big corporate meeting that they do. And yeah, it's called a family reunion. So SFR is Scentsy Family Reunion.
Or put on. How many parties are you going to have to do in order to generate the commissions to attend SFR? That kind of thinking is how you really advance in owning your own business. You have to look at.
So think about this. They want you, as a Scentsy distributor, to sell their products to people in your life so that you can make money, so that you can then put that money back in their pocket to go to the Scentsy Family Reunion. That's what they're telling you to do. Buy more of our product to make us richer. And then with the money that you make from that, also give that to us to make us richer. So it's like, oh, I see what you're doing there.
What do I want? And then what percentage of my income am I willing to spend on that? And then what activities do I have to engage in order to generate the income necessary for me to do those things that I want to do while still fulfilling the rest of my goals that I have set for myself, right? So this goal setting,
the goals that you set, not for yourself. Don't get it twisted. These MLMs, when they tell you you're doing personal development, you're not. You're doing cult development. You're brainwashing yourself into the cult. You're not working on yourself. You're not growing and learning as a person in life and then advancing yourself to the next level in your own life. That's not what you're doing. But you are becoming a very, very good cultist. And you will be completely manipulated by these people and what they want you to do. And then you'll do all of the things. But it's not going to help you grow as a person. It's just going to help you be a good cult member in Scentsy. Hey, Salami, good to see you. It's the Sense with Heart.
This aspiration, setting a goal, and then working towards it, creating a plan how to get there. These are all the...
Again, all these goals surround how are you going to sell more Scentsy product. It's not something like how are you going to get past the trauma in your life and then learn how to build healthy relationships or something like that you should probably be working on in your own personal development, you know? It's more about what are the activities that you could be doing in order to sell more of our stuff and then be more involved in all of our cult activities, like by coming to the Scentsy Family Reunion.
Essential skills of owning and running a business. It doesn't matter what the business is.
Not a business. Not a business. You're a cult. You're a cult masquerading as a business in order to make people do slave labor and then hide under the guise that it's all legal. That's what you are. Don't get twisted. You're not a small business. You're a multi-million-dollar corporation, though. That's what you are. And it's funny because if Elon Musk ever treated his employees how MLM companies treat their employees and distributors, because they also have hired employees that they treat just the same, sometimes worse, the whole world would be in a head tailspin. They'd be like, oh my God, we got to cancel Elon Musk. He's treating his employees like shit. He's paying them slave wages. But, you know, it's okay for MLMs to do it because they really only do it to like veteran wives and like stay-at-home moms and like people with disabilities who can't work and like, you know, the vulnerable communities. So why should we speak out about that?
And this is what we're trying to teach you, not, hey, go sell products because we want to sell products and we need to make more money. It's not what it's about.
No.
We have a passion for helping people
sell your products so you can make more money. And then by helping people join your cult in order to sell your products so that you can make more money. Because how do you help people? By them joining your cult and then selling your products. I mean, sure, Scentsy has many foundations that they claim helps people, but that's not their main goal, right? Their main goal is to get as many people to sign up to Scentsy, all selling Scentsy, again, so that they could be rich.
Build family-friendly, industry-leading businesses. And yes, direct selling is small business. It is micro.
It's like if you're a distributor in this thing, you're probably in a one-bedroom apartment and you're pulling out credit cards to pay for Scentsy every month. But your money is paying for the giant mansion that they live in. So that's good, isn't it? At least they're living well.
Entrepreneurship. But you can learn the things that are necessary for you to get ahead in a way that fits in your family and is directly proportional to the efforts that you put in. So that's what we're passionate about, helping you do that. Coming to Reunion is...
You mean the family that you want us to post on the internet using your products and use for our marketing campaigns? But then other than that, they're supposed to be completely useless to us because we're a part of the Scentsy family? And they're our new family now. Husbands and wives and children are only good for ad campaigns. The rest of my time, I'm sorry, I have to make sales. We have to become millionaires. I need to go to the Scentsy family reunion, damn it.
Going to help us accelerate our mission of helping you.
Yeah. Okay, one of the other things that was mentioned at World Tour was the
Violet says your credit card debt paid for those glasses. Chew on that. If there was ever a purchase to regret.
Spark sessions that the training team has started up, and how there's different topics, and you get on a Spark session call, and really you just share with each other about ways to do certain things, whatever that topic is for the day. I came across a message today that I'm just going to share tonight because...
and it's very much like on Passive, where every time there's a new topic, but it's very much just the same thing over and over and over again.
Of just how valuable the Spark sessions are. You need to get on and register to be on a Spark session. And so there's only so many seats, I think.
Which is, again, a little bit bizarre since we're having this on the internet and we're allegedly running this business to help as many people as we can help in the world. So why would you then run something like the Sparks thing and then have limited seats? Make it so people had to register. If you actually wanted everyone to be successful here, why wouldn't it be something that's available to everyone? It's the same as how you have to buy a ticket to the Scentsy family reunion. It's like, have you ever bought a ticket for your family reunion if you've gone to one? When my aunt and uncle got married, we had a family reunion at their cottage. Nobody bought a ticket. Okay? Nobody. We all went for free. Probably cost money because then we had to pay for food. You know? Like, that's what we spent money on. Not buying a ticket. Buying a ticket? What do you mean? For a family reunion? But, again, everything's just about money.
So another challenge for today is to sometime during the month of March, get on and register and be on a Spark session. Okay, this is what,
Help us, help you, help us, basically, yeah.
so many Spark session
my turn.
invites. I mean, we need to overwhelm the system of Spark sessions so that we have
More can be added.
more Spark sessions to be added, because we know that every Spark session generates results. So the more we can have, the better it will be. So we'll put the resources behind Spark sessions. If you're
Is this Spark session running some kind of MLM? What do you mean?
going to get involved in the Spark sessions, because we know they work.
They're good. So, and this is just like,
What, do you have anything that shows us the data of how they work? Like, how do you know that they work? Are you like tracking data with these sessions? Where you keep track, since you have people register, that it would make sense then that you were having people register in order to track their progress to ensure that these are working. I just don't feel like you're actually doing that. And if you are, I feel like you're not going to share those results with the rest of us. That's something that's going to be kept private just for the higher ups to see, you know? But like, you can't just, we know they work. We know that they do. Why? Because we say they do. People tell us that they're great. It's like, okay, but the only real way to know that they work is if, again, you kept track of the registrations, people that registered, right? And you kind of looked at the sales that they were doing and the recruits that they had before they went to the Spark session. And then you tracked the data of, did they recruit more people and sell more things after the Spark session? And then just to make it really good, you would track it like right after the Spark session, maybe a week later, how are they doing? And then 6 months after that, are they doing even better due to this Spark session? And a year after that, are they doing even better? I've been a part of these studies before for other things. And that's usually how they go. And then like they might wait like 2 years or 5 years and then get a hold of you and be like, so how are you doing today? Is that still helping you? I've done it with group therapies and stuff before and been a part of tons of studies for psychology like that. And again, when they collect the data, that's kind of how they collect it. It's like over a period, right after the therapy, a few months later, 6 months, a year or two. Then they usually do like a long-term one. Like I said, we'll call you like 5 years later. But I'm just kind of like, I don't feel like you're tracking that data. And I don't feel like these Spark sessions actually do help. It's the same as their conferences that they do, where everyone feels so great and wonderful and they're all really, really motivated afterwards. But then eventually it dies off, right? It would be like the same sort of effect with the Spark session, I feel like. So unless you have like data and proof to provide us, showing us that they work, this is just a source, trust me, bro.
a shout out for the training team also.
Chris says they work so well that we had to raise your goals to make the same amount of money, right? Which is basically all it is.
So she said, I just want to rave about the Spark sessions for a minute. I'm someone who doesn't like training that I'm talked at. I don't learn that way. I don't get ideas. and I get distracted. Yeah, that's a me problem. But I want to have a space where I can discuss with others. I want to bounce ideas around with others. These spark sessions are exactly that. I'm struggling and
So a consultant who gets patted on the back for kissing your ass did a review on the spark session and said that they're amazing. Therefore, they work. That's what we're okay.
every aspect of my business and wanted to get on to personally talk to people and see what they're doing.
Please make sure that I still get my PRV. Heidi, I wrote this amazing review. Pay attention to me.
They're struggling with also, and have walked away with some serious gold nuggets. So if you haven't had a chance to hop on, please do. Not only am I getting ideas from seasoned leaders, but new
We have to find out what chicken they keep stealing these nuggets off of, okay?
consultants too. So thank you, training department, for this format. It truly is so incredibly helpful. So
I want to bounce ideas off others, translates to I want to find out how they are successful after hearing no 50 times per day. Basically. And there is a lot of that when you're a distributor in Scentsy. Because you go to these training sessions and they do these things like they say, oh, well, are you doing your 5 posts a day? Are you reaching out to the 100 people a day on your list and making a new list like every week of 100 people you can reach out to? And I'm over here like, I maybe only know 100 people. I don't know how I'm supposed to be making these lists every week with new ones, but okay. And like you'll do all of this and you're doing it all day long, you know? You're posting these posts, you're taking the marketing pictures with your family using the Scentsy. You're posting it to the internet, you're contacting friends and family and asking them to buy off of you. And you're writing strangers, hey hun messages even at times, because you're just like, Lord, I need to meet that PRV. And you're struggling the whole time. And it's impossible. But then you're looking at these other people who get kind of put up on pedestals on the team, right? And they're like, oh my God, I make like $3,000 a month just by doing the same things you're doing. And you start to go, well, what's wrong with me? Because I'm doing the same things that person's doing. I'm going to the same trainings. I'm getting told the same stuff. I have the same access now that they do everything on social media. They claim that everyone has equal opportunity because of that. Right? And that's not true, but that's what they claim. So you start to go, oh my God, like I must be a complete idiot. Because like I'm doing all the things, it's not working out for me. But Karen over there says she's making $3,000 a month by doing this. So what am I doing wrong? So then you'll go to someone like your upline and you'll be like, I'm just wondering like why I'm doing all the things and I'm not getting results, but like other people seem to be getting results. And like I don't understand like what's wrong. Like, am I doing something wrong? And they'll be like, yeah, you are. You're not going to enough of the trainings. You're obviously not posting enough. You're not making those lists of 100 people. So then you start to do it more and more and more because you're like, well, they just keep telling me if I do this stuff, it's going to work out. And like, if it's not working out for me, it's because I'm doing it wrong. It's not because the business model is set up to not work out for me. It's not because these products are oversaturated. And every time I reach out to a friend or family member, they go, yeah, I already have someone that I know that sells Scentsy, and like I get it off of them every once in a while, but not really looking for a Scentsy rep right now, Beth. I'm sorry. So you're like, man, what am I doing? And it starts to fuck with your self-esteem. Right? And then eventually somebody says something to you like, well, you have to fake it until you make it. And it either clicks for you that all these people that claim that they're making $3,000 a month aren't. They're just lying and then being, put on a pedestal because they're great liars and they make the company look good and they're willing to do all the politics, right? Or you kind of wake up and come to the conclusion that, okay, this whole business model is set up against me, so no matter what I do, it's not going to work out. Or you end up just stuck in the cult forever trying to live up to this expectation that nobody can live up to because it doesn't exist. And that those are kind of the only options. And in doing that, you pour more and more money into the business because you have to keep that PRV. And if you're not selling things directly from your store to keep it up, you have to buy it yourself. And trust me, a lot of the Scentsy reps, they just buy it themselves. A lot of them have auto shipments going for like cent of the month, and then they'll have like another order coming every month or whatever so that they can keep up the PRV and whatnot. And it's interesting because it's like that's what they want you to do. They want you to feel inadequate, and they want you to feel like you constantly have to work on yourself and work on this business to get it going so that you're like on a hamster wheel just trying to do it. And it never gets done, but that's okay because in the meantime, they're collecting all your dough. They're taking all your time. They're taking all your energy. You're dedicating everything to this company. So what do they care? And then when you leave, you're hit with this like wave of, I don't even know what to do with my time now. Like I just spent months where my entire life was building up this business and branding myself in this company, being the scent girl in Scentsy. And now I have to like find another way to find my self-worth in the world. Because they also tell you that being a mom and a wife isn't enough. You have to also save the entire world. Otherwise, you're useless, And it's a lot. It's a lot to go through. And even me being out for several years now, I still struggle with a lot of it. And I can tell you right now that none of it made my mental health any better at all. In fact, it made my mental health much worse. And that's something a lot of people don't talk about on here. What happens to those of us who grew up with abuse in situations that were very high control and abusive for several years? We have trauma, we have mental health issues, and then one of these things show up and go, we can fix all of that for you. I even had It Works telling me you won't need to be on meds for your depression and your anxiety with your severe mental health disorder. You just need to take this Confianza pill every day. And it really fucks with you. It's a really bad thing. And it could set somebody on a whole bunch of issues that can take years and years and years to work through and come out of. I mean, I've been out of MLMs for over 5 years. But because it re-triggered a bunch of the stuff from my past as well, it really messed me up. And I'm still working through it with therapists. I'm still trying to find medicines. I'm still going. And I would have been a hell of a lot better off had I not wasted over a year on MLMs and doing all this shit and messing myself up more. I'd probably be 5 years ahead of where I am right now if I hadn't done 1 year in MLMs. It probably set me back at least 5 to 10 years, regressed me 5 to 10 years in my mental health journey. One that I had spent over a decade working on to be better. And I think it's a very important conversation to have. you know, and It Works may have gotten me in the door and really like started me on that journey, but Scentsy really fucked me up. Especially since they were the end all be all. Because if you didn't make it with Scentsy just selling the products, you weren't going to make it at anything. And I also had a background in sales. So I'm like, what do you mean I can't sell anything if I can't sell this junk? I was selling things for years before this and I was just fine. And do you know what? It messed me up in even being able to do that job. You know, I tried to get back into sales at the tail end of me being in Scentsy. And it was like really triggering for me for some reason. And I was like, why am I triggered working in sales right now? I used to do that all the time. Customer experience in sales was my thing other than social work. That's what I did. I did a lot of call centers and door-to-door sales and all of that great fun stuff. But it was like it even messed me up with that. So when I went to go like back to work and get into it again after MLMs, I was like, this isn't at all the same. Like at all. And I think it's a conversation that we really need to have out here. You know, and I really hope that I am able to have the conversation more. And I really hope that now that it's been a few years since I tried to have it the last time, that maybe now people are willing to listen. Because I think we do need to talk about what happens when people with trauma disorders and severe mental health issues are fucked over by MLMs. And I get it. Nobody wants to see the ugliness and nobody wants to see the crying and nobody wants to see the person triggered on the internet writing community tab posts 500 times a day. I get that. But unfortunately, that's part of the healing process sometimes. And maybe instead of, if you see somebody going through that, instead of attacking them and making it worse for them, maybe we can all figure out how to help someone like that. Because I came into the anti-MLM community like that, and instead of being embraced and helped, I was shunned and shamed and turned away, and people were told to block me. Because trauma is ugly. And everyone wants to be on here talking about the trauma that cults put people through, but it seems like not a lot of people want to actually see it. And unfortunately, it's time for the world to wake up and actually take a look at it. Because it's about time that our society gets together and says, this is not okay to do to people. And this all needs to stop. And this entire hustle culture industry needs to be shut the fuck down. Just shut right down. There should be none of it. And down with all the motivational speakers and all of the people that support things like this. Because unless you're made to see things like that, it doesn't seem like a big deal to you. Like, I don't know how many times someone's been like, oh, Queen, why don't you just go back to talking about your little MLMs? Like, would you look at somebody who's speaking out about Scientology and say, oh my God, Jenna Miscavige, why don't you just go back to talking about your little Scientology thing? Because here's the thing, people also grow up in MLMs and with hustle culture. And being taught that that's all okay. And all of it's very, very similar. And I think we need to stop separating it. And we need to handle people leaving MLMs just as seriously as we handle people leaving Scientology. You know? I mean, that's how we'll stop things like NXIVM from happening. We have to start taking it more seriously. You know, maybe if it was taken seriously, NXIVM would have never have happened. The problem is, though, is that people go, oh, that's MLM. Yeah, they're just like these little businesses that stay-at-home moms do. They're not that serious. And again, that needs to stop.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Training
Having my
team.
TED Talk.
I think that's a home run. So,
Yes, let's keep those up.
and get on a Spark session this month if you haven't.
And I think the momentum behind those Spark sessions is one of the indicators that things are going well. We have some other indicators, and Heidi flashed this, and so maybe somebody took a screenshot.
Woo!
So we'll just go over them.
We have hobo hair flying around in here now. He came and sat on my lap, and I have hair everywhere.
So we had the Yes You Can promotion, right? I don't know how many of you tried to participate in that, but that increased first-time 250 PRV consultants by over 50%, and that doesn't include today.
Well, it's still growing,
Yeah.
So way to go!
Let me just digest that. 50% more consultants reached 250 PRV than previously reached 250 PRV as a percentage, and we still have the last day of the month. So, yes, you're proving yourself that you can, and you're validating some decisions that have been made, and there are people that are going to be upset about decisions whenever they're made, but if you just engage, you're going to find that you can do things that you didn't think you
I think it's interesting that right away, it's like, there's going to be people that are going to be upset by this. It's like, okay, so you know what you're doing.
could, and that's going to bless you over and over and over again.
Somebody's asking how they get on the Spark session in here, if it's on the app or what?
Go to your workstation. You can
Yeah, so
register
get
on your
on your
workstation.
workstation. If not, somebody in here tell them how they get on.
Okay.
Okay, sales of the spring summer 2025 new season sales kit. But it was up 45% compared to spring summer 2024.
Yeah.
The kit from 2024. So
Yeah.
woohoo!
Again, a leading indicator.
Yeah,
When
things are
when
good.
consultants are
Yeah.
engaged in getting the,
That doesn't mean anything. You buy the kit at the beginning. Everyone buys the kit at the beginning, but then by the first month, they're not using it anymore and they drop out. Like 50% of people that join MLMs drop out within like the first month. Most drop out within the first 6 months. Not many people get like 6 months in. So it's like, that's great that your sales of the kit is up 25%. That does not, however, equate to you having 25% more distributors. And that's kind of what they're trying to do here. Is they're trying to be like, oh, well, the kit's all being sold. So that means that, you know, that's good news for us with the distributors. And I'm like, no, like I know people that bought in as distributors and bought the kit because they liked one product that they wanted to get a discount on every few months, but they're not interested in selling this to anyone or recruiting anyone. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people like that in the world. I wish that they would stop doing it because I'm like, you can go find these products elsewhere, but it's like that exists a lot in Scentsy. I would say most of their distributors, like that's why there's 75% of them that aren't inactive. And I would guarantee a big portion of the 25% that are active just remain active to do that. Like, it doesn't mean that there's a whole bunch new distributors in this thing at all.
sales kit.
Hi, Retro. How are you? I saw you gaming earlier, but I was busy, so I couldn't say hello. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. Retro likes to game on his channel. Plays a lot of the retro games. You see? You get it? I know you get it.
That means that they're planning on going to work, and 45% greater anticipated future engagement, right? That's really, really good. We had...
that's not what it means, sir. But that was a nice try.
The scent and warmer of the quarter in Region 2 and Region 3 were up big. In Region 2, up 29%, and in Region 3, up 15%. So that's done really well in Region 2 and Region 3.
Okay, total PRV from Essential Consultants was up 33% in February 2025 compared to February 2024.
When people start to go to work
Yeah.
at the very beginning of their
That's
business,
showing work is happening.
that's a good sign of future progress.
It's not though. Like I just literally said, that does not mean that at all. Like it really doesn't. It like it drives me crazy that they're trying to do this right now. I just told you, like most people drop out. If they do try it out for a month or two, by the 6-month mark, most of them are gone. Like I'd guess a good 75% of people that sign up probably quit by the 6-month mark, maybe more. I don't have the stats on me right now. I'm sorry. There are stats on this though, and they're quite high. The 50% dropout in the first month, that's a real stat. That's so like them being like, oh, the first month they did so much work. Again, that doesn't mean that 10 months from now, they're going to be the most amazing Hunbot in the world. You are my best friend, Retro.
Total sponsoring from Essential Consultants was up 19% in February. So people are getting engaged sooner in building their teams. So that's good.
Okay, Region 3 recruiting is up 25% in February 2025 compared to February 2024.
Okay, so
So,
do we have a resurgence
news.
in Region?
I find this very weird. It's weird. All of the MLMs this year are claiming that they're doing better. But then when you look at the statistics of the people joining MLMs and staying in MLMs, those stats are actually getting lower. So it's like, what is happening? There's a problem with the numbers of this because all these MLMs can't be recruiting more and selling more when we look at the statistics of people that are leaving and it's higher. Like, I'm just like, are you guys like making these numbers up a little bit as we go along? Or like, can we see the data of this? Post it up for us.
3.
Woohoo!
We're
Well, they're
excited about
having a
that.
very large world tour right
Yeah.
now, so I hope they're all feeling Scentsy spirit.
Every comeback requires a setback, so don't be afraid of setbacks. Just load up and
It just means the comeback
let's go.
is ahead.
Recruiting or sponsoring, I like to use sponsoring, but recruiting I guess works too. Through the first 2 months of 2025,
You like to use sponsoring because you think the use of the word sponsoring is a little bit nicer than the word recruiting. You know that people have a negative connotation to recruiting people to these things. And you seem to think that by saying sponsoring, it will change that. It doesn't.
is up.
It's just like on passive changing the word money to apples and thinking that now they're not making illegal income claims. Like, it's like, it doesn't change what it is.
Over 100% compared to the first 2 months of 2024. So sponsoring is triple digits up, which is, again, another good sign for what's to come.
And let me guess, it's because you guys came back too, isn't it?
Okay, February 2025 consultant terminations are down 24% compared to February of 2024.
See, that's, again, I'm kind of like, interesting. Because the stats on MLMs for the last years, like, they've been recruiting and getting less people. But then they're like, it's up. It's up. This is up.
Oh,
Hello.
sorry, we have a little guest gonna pass through here. Get.
Okay, so
That was rude.
it's been a long time since you've been on an end of the month, Hobo. So what does that mean? When
The cat's trying to warn us, okay? The cat is like, everyone get out of this thing. It's a pyramid scheme.
terminations are down, that means that fewer consultants are giving up on their business. Now, you might think that that wouldn't be the case because there was a lot of rumblings about how many people were upset about decisions we made and were going to cancel.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. You bring that up.
And we hate to lose anyone, but the reality is we just keep doing what we do the best we can, and the business is going to take care of itself.
Him saying this around the cat it's beautiful, actually.
And terminations are down compared to a year ago in February.
Guys, people aren't leaving because they're mad at us for these changes, we promise. Believe me, I'm talking from behind this cat.
By 24%.
So I actually just got a message about that I'll share.
Oh, how convenient. Just randomly got a message about that now, huh? Yeah, okay.
That somebody sent, and one of her team members sent, I was terrified of the PRV jump starting Saturday, but I made it this month, so I should be fine. And she said, absolutely, you will be. It's all about your mindset, and you seem to be ready to roll with all of us. So,
isn't it interesting, though, that they're like, oh my God, I actually made it. So because I made it, it's okay. Woo! Woo! I was scared. It's like, well, it's nice that you made it, but what about all the other people that are in this thing that are still scared that they're not going to make it? They don't matter? Okay.
Woohoo! And we want you to know something too.
And that should also give you an idea of how hard it is for them to reach the PRV if they have to celebrate when they make it. Like every single month, you start off the month horrified that you're not going to make it. Because if you don't make it 4 months in a row, you lose your whole business. They shut it down. So it's an awful feeling to start off every month and be like, oh my God, I have to make this amount. Otherwise, I might be on the way to having my whole thing taken from me.
You've probably noticed that February wasn't a particularly ambitious month for new product releases. We did have a flash sale, but it was pretty tame compared to years past, right? So we didn't juice this month up to show you that you can do well. This was a
I swear to God, the cat's like, get out while you still can. They're awful.
tough month.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot that we had extra to support you this month, and you still were able to do it. So that's really, really well done.
Again, it's a little bit strange that they're like, and then you were still able to do it. Isn't that great?
Okay, and then World Tour attendance was up in 2025 in Region 1 and Region 2 compared to 2024. And in addition, 17 locations were sold out, which we mentioned earlier. So way to go. Way to show up, everyone. That's exciting.
Okay, so we have a Scentsy Hobo Buddy request.
Wait, I'm not sure that I don't know what kind of cat he is, but I don't think that kind of cat is
Here's the problem.
as sellable. I think people buy other cats, like a black.
I'm okay, Fitness Frank. I'll leave it up to the people that already do that.
Black cat or a calico cat.
I think here'd be the problem with a Hobo Scentsy Buddy. Everyone would think there was a product fault when all of the fur came out.
Yeah, like my.
And then we would say, no, it's just a feature. It's a Hobo Scentsy Buddy. And yes, the fur will come out and get all over your clothes.
Like a real cat.
Wonderful for people like me who are extremely allergic to cats. Literally, extremely allergic to cats. And they're like, but it's okay if the cat hair gets on things.
Like a real hobo.
They ask for a Hobo Scentsy Buddy and anybody comes to our house.
Yeah, it'd be so great if I opened up a box of Scentsy and then had to be rushed to the hospital because I went into anaphylactic shock. That would be amazing.
They know that fur is everywhere. So you can't call that a product fault.
Okay, one other.
Yeah, no, even if you're like me. And again, you would go into anaphylactic shock.
Thing that we have been seeing, I've seen it a couple times now in some groups about no pods being available in the new fragrances.
Yeah, so to be clear, there are new fragrances.
Here's the thing. If you want people to touch on people in those communities, then maybe make the community less toxic. I'm going to tell you right now, no creator is going to touch that person with a 10-foot pole because the community surrounding them is all about doxing, calling police, calling child services, dog piling, making fun of mental health, and etc. So if you want respectable creators to go into that sphere, it's the same with like Girl World and foodie beauty content. Make your community less toxic then. Tell people not to take things in real life. Tell people not to call police and do all of that crazy life ruination stuff. You know, calm the community down a bit. Make it so that there are constant doxes being displayed on screen. Because a lot of people will refuse to cover this person due to that happening alone. It's like, how are you supposed to put them up on your screen when you're going to have Carlos coming in every 10 minutes and doxing somebody? You know? I just hang out to keep an eye on the cult tactics that are being used. That's what I do. Scentsy, where the fur will fly and then make people go into anaphylactic shock. I've never paid for a kitty in my life. I am the kitty whisperer. That's cool. If you're not allergic, hey, save as many cats as you can.
Fragrances in pods, but they're not new to Scentsy fragrances, right?
Yeah.
And
if I lived in a place that had wild dogs, I would probably be in trouble.
first of all, when I heard that, I thought, that's not right. So we have the same instincts you do. Then we dig a little bit and we understand, well, why do we do it that way?
So we're going to explain why, so you know.
It's weird to me that they keep acting like they find out everything after the fact. Like, I'm like, wouldn't you had to have approved this? Like, why do you act like who's running this business then?
So, the process of figuring out how to make a pod smell good and last a while and make it smell like the wax is very difficult. So, it takes a lot of trial and error and research. It takes a little while to do it right. And it's a very big investment.
You mean they have to use real science?
To work on making a pod out of a Scentsy fragrance. So until we know a fragrance is going to be well received, we have been reluctant to put the energy into creating a pod for it. Does that make sense? So we've waited to see which fragrances people like, and then we would go through the effort of creating a pod in it.
So it sounds like you didn't want to do much work unless it would really pay off. That's all I'm hearing.
That's what we've done in the past. That's
so
the reason.
Kind of the reason, yeah, is what.
But I don't
you
like
said,
that reason.
So yeah,
I don't know if it's sufficient.
Yeah.
Hey, Serene, I hope you're having a great day.
It is. That's the issue right now.
So we're going to work on that because I think your instinct, those of you who have said, hey, how come the new fragrances aren't in pods? I think that is a good instinct, and we need to work on that. So we did talk to the product team today and said,
I mean, excuse? Like, that's a good instinct.
why don't we do this? Why are we waiting? And can we just come out with the new fragrances in pods as soon as they're available? So we're going to work on that. Strategically, it might be a bad idea, and everyone will say that's a really dumb idea. Don't do that, Orville. But we've engaged the teams or instructed the teams to start developing those bestsellers as soon as possible. And we might not wait to bring them out. We might bring them out as soon as they're ready.
Okay, that's all
There's like a lot of stuff up in the air here. Like, we never know what's happening.
we have that we were going to cover. So.
Yeah. So Karen has a good point. She said if you can do the scent of the month pods, we should be able to do the catalog scents. It's just a matter of volume. The scent of the month pods
Yeah, definitely listen to Karen.
are a scent of the month is such a big fragrance for the fragrance houses. They go through and they compete heavy for a scent of the month. It's very valuable to the fragrance houses.
I think one of the other things too is, like he was saying, that getting the pod to smell exactly like the fragrance is a little difficult. And so we don't know.
Can you just find an easier way to go about it? Like, I feel like there wouldn't just be one way that you could make some kind of pod that captures the scent. Like, I just feel like if it's so difficult, why not find an easier solution?
So which fragrances are going to be the top sellers from spring? And we don't want to make a pod of something that isn't selling very well, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We always hope that all of our fragrances are top sellers, but you know how that goes. There's always top and bottom. So
and I think, to be clear, it's not really work on our part. We'd be willing to do all the work. It's the work of the fragrance house. So we have perfumers that are world-class perfumers. We have multiple fragrance houses we buy from, the very biggest and best in the world. And they have to go through a lot of work in order to come.
So you're not making your own fragrances. You get them from other fragrance houses that make the fragrances.
Come up with a fragrance that will work in a pod that smells like a fragrance that works in wax. And they're reluctant to go through that work unless they know it's going to be worthwhile.
Okay, somebody's asking if we have a join promotion for March.
Great, I knew I'd get stumped on something.
Yeah.
Why don't you
Here's
know?
the interesting thing about Heidi and me, right?
Yeah.
We are now working on things that are 6 months and out.
Yeah. We actually just did the holiday collection, so.
Yeah, and so all the things that are happening now were baked
Who would know that I could text real quick? Who would know?
You know what the joint promotion is?
Baron says they make their own scents like Young Living make their own oils. That's exactly it, right? And that's kind of part of the problem. Is it's like, seed to seal. What does that mean? And it's kind of the same here. And this is why, for example, the conversation we had about scents and the cats the other day. This is kind of also part of the issue, is that I don't know if they're aware of every single ingredient in their scents. I don't know if they know much about that. Well, it doesn't appear like these two do anyway. So when you're not the one making the product from scratch with all the ingredients, like, you have to be extra careful of that kind of thing, right? Of warnings like that. And once again, like they say, they get them from these fragrant houses. So it's like, even more worrisome.
It's going to be consultants saying, come be part of my team because Scentsy is awesome. And this season is going to be great.
We'll take that.
And you need the blessings that I have found through Scentsy in your life. So let's go and enjoy them together.
Scentsy, now with 25% less cat dander.
Let that be the, I don't know, that's not much of a promotion, but it's the best I could do on the fly. Well,
it's interesting that they don't really talk about how their promotion, I guess, would technically be the 10% off that they're doing. I know that they're changing it from like the buy 6, get 1 free to now you get 10% off, but Orville should have tried to take that and twist it into a promotion. If he was a good business owner and operator, then that's what he would have done in this moment. Instead, he's just like, I don't know.
I think that we have
spent our time. The video that we showed, we'll post where do you want to post it?
I'm going to try to post it here on our Facebook page. And then we'll get the team to put.
Yes, they did. They did right after posted on their Facebook page. Because, if you didn't see it all on his phone, I'm sure you want to watch it again.
Put it up on other places.
Can you share when SFR, is there going to be a virtual option? I don't know. It's
there will be parts of it that will be virtual for sure. Yeah.
When is it going to open? I don't.
All the scented products should have toxicology tests, carcinogenic, etc. Yeah, they claim it doesn't have any carcinogenics. It's all food paraffin wax that has no toxins. Right? And it's like, are you sure?
Don't know. Soonish, it seems.
Here's an interesting thing about virtual SFR and things like that.
Okay, wait. I'm going to interrupt you. $35 join promotion. $35. So, okay.
And if that's wrong, it's Michael's fault.
Yeah, I just texted Michael.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, they have the $39 starter kit right now, I'm assuming, is what they're talking about. So you can join now for $39 instead of $99. But again, that kit doesn't come with everything you would need to build your business. So what happens is people end up buying this kit for $39 to start their business at a discounted price, right? And then all of a sudden, they're like, oh, well, I don't have everything I need. So then their upline says, oh, well, that's okay. You can always like buy that stuff later. So then you're buying all of the individual things from the kit that you would need. Like you're buying more pamphlets, more order forms, and that kind of thing, right? Or, and I don't think Scentsy has the option to buy the kit later, but they might have changed it. But a lot of companies have the option where you can just buy the starter kit at any time. So they'll be like, oh, okay, I'll just buy it in the next month. And that's also a problem. I have all of my Scentsy scents. I have actually in an area of my house. I have my old Scentsy. It was like this little plastic bin, you know, one of those shelves, and you can like open up several drawers on it. It's like just made out of plastic though. And I used to use it for my business. It's a purple one. And I also have a white one, and they're both just filled with my Scentsy stuff. I still have the old Scentsy catalogs that I got when I signed up. I still have like all the order forms. I never even used one of those. I still have a lot of the wax. Some of it's gone bad because it's been like 5 years. But for some reason, I just can't throw it away. My husband still has one of the room sprays, like the bottle. I don't think there's anything left in it, but for some reason he just keeps it on the shelf. It's almost like a little reminder, like, don't fall into that shit again. You know? Can you smell them? I even have, I even still have the testers. When I joined with the starter kit, you got a pack of like 50 little testers, and I even still have those. I believe I've taken them out in videos in the past that I've done about Scentsy, and we've gone over my old Scentsy stuff. We've gone over my old Scentsy group that I had and many of my posts that I did. Same with It Works. I've definitely made fun of my old It Works self as well. So, but they're just, I just can't throw them away. It's like these bins are here in this corner to remind me. Don't ever join an MLM. And like when it comes to It Works, I still have a couple of the product packages because they would tell you that when you're done with the product, keep the packages to set it up in the background of your live streams and whatnot to make it look like you have extra product, right? So I still have some of that stuff. And I still have this stupid It Works Global bracelet that they sent me when I joined. And I think I still have some of their promotional materials hidden somewhere too in one of these bins. But it's just like one of those things I can't throw it out, you know. I need a reminder. And it's like maybe I'll want to show them one day again. A little anti-MLM shrine. Basically, I have like a little corner in the bedroom that just has these two things in it. It's like that is there to remind me. Can you smell what the Rock is cooking? You know what? They should have made a bacon bar for that.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you for pointing that out.
I mean, they made a bar that smelled like grass. Freshly cut grass was a scent. So why not?
What?
See, we don't really talk about joint promotions because I don't think we need them.
Oh,
I think
yeah?
you all can grow just fine straight up. But it's always nice when you get them. Makes it a little easier.
It
yeah.
does. It's something special.
I think what it does is give you confidence. It's interesting in the past, when we've done joint promotions, we actually have more people.
They're awful. They're an awful idea. The people that join with the promotions are about 50% more likely to leave. Right? It's kind of like if you weren't willing to pay $99 and you're only willing to pay the $35, you're probably not really into it, you know?
Sign up with a $99 kit than would have signed up in the $99 kit without the promotion. So the promotion just starts the conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
And so that's been helpful that way. I was going to say,
Yeah, you can tell yourself that all you want, but I think it's there for a reason because you know that you need like a cheat month every once in a while. Otherwise, these people are just getting rejected all the time. And you know that if you're given a promotion, more people will be willing to say yes for a promotion, right? Because again, there's a bunch of people out here that maybe they like one or two of Scentsy's products, but they don't want to pay $100 to join. But it would be helpful to be getting that distributor discount because you do get a discount. You know, if you're just buying the products, that would be helpful. So they kind of go, oh, okay, I'll join for the $35, of course, in order to get that deal. That's usually when those people join.
about reunion, one of the challenges is we put a lot of energy into a live event.
Sure.
And if people don't show up to the live event, then that is a lot of wasted energy. So if we have the virtual event and we talk about the virtual event and people then don't go to the live event, then that drains the resources from the live event.
And then we might as well not even do a live event.
Yeah, and so we're really
So-
trying to be really wise with the resources we have. We run on very tight margins, and so
Oh, yeah, you don't say. Why is that? If sales are getting so much more, right? If you're getting more sales than you were last year and you got more recruits than you do last year and everyone's working harder and selling more, recruiting more than they did last year, why are you under such tight budgets?
you know, if we spend money on something and it's wasted, that's less money that we can spend on you in other ways. And so we won't really want to be wise with that. So we want to both promote the live event because we do think there's value in going live, even considering the cost it takes to get there. But we also don't want to limit the lift that you can get from reunion by providing as much of it as we can to you. So that's a balancing act that we're, and every company really goes through. So,
which is why usually what they'll do is they'll do a live event and then they'll make a video of the event and then they'll upload the video after the event. And then they'll tell all of you that if you didn't go to the event, make sure you go watch the video of the event. And it's supposed to give you that same feeling. And going to one of these events is almost like getting a weird high. It feels very empowering and very uplifting, and it does put energy back into people where they go, okay, now I'm really going to work this business. But again, it's not sustainable long term, which again is why they have these deals like with all these join us for only $40.
would love it if you're there. We'll make it a great experience if you are. But I'm sure we want you to benefit from all
Okay.
the work we put into SFR.
I got
even
some
if you
news.
can't come.
See, people, when we don't know, people.
Oh my God, I hate how she just interrupts. Heidi's like, I am the most important person in the world. When I get news, everyone has to stop what they're doing and listen to me. She's done it like 5 times.
Are on here that can tell us. So March 10th, SFR registration will open. And no set time yet, like noon or we don't know. So, March 10th, we will open.
Here's another thing. If you can come, if you
Thank you,
plan on
Veronica.
coming, the sooner you let us know, the more we can plan, right?
Oh, yeah?
So, if it's just a done deal and you know you're coming no matter what,
If it's a what? If it's just a done deal. Oh no, Ashley Farah is going to be so mad.
get in early, so that gives us a really good, the sooner we know things, the more wise we can be with the resources we have. The more
And the more it will be a done deal.
wise we are, the more money we have to make it a great experience. So cooperate with us and.
Hey, somebody
there's a
asked
benefit.
this question. Do you remember?
Was the scent and warmer of the month in the video? Yes,
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but
I think it was.
was that the first warmer that was shown?
What was the first one that was shown?
The white flower one?
I think that was the,
So maybe somebody's asking that wasn't on when we showed the video. So we'll show the video. If it's not in there, then I don't know, it'll be posted somewhere. So
and if not, we'll improve for next month.
how does registration work if you earned SFR?
If you earned it, you've got a spot. And you'll be told.
I think those are
Yeah.
already, those go first on the list. So yes, you probably still have to register, but I don't know how or,
Yeah,
but you do probably still have to
yeah,
register.
it's the cherry
so.
blossom warmer.
And it is not a global reunion this year. We'll have, Region 1, Region 2, Region 3.
That means we get to travel, don't we?
I know. Hey, come here. Come say hi. So here's our other daughter. She's here for the graveside tomorrow. So
Should we share the secret? Here, come behind us.
No, don't share the secret. Hi.
So Grace,
doing this.
come here. No, come here.
Stop bringing your children on camera. At least they're of age.
Okay.
So Grace graduates in April.
you smell like
Yeah.
dinner.
Yeah, we
So-
just had dinner.
Tell us what's going on, what are you studying, and where do you work right now while you're going to school?
What do you
I
do?
am studying communication studies with a minor in business. I always say like hoping to go into social media because that's what I used to always say, but I am at Scentsy right now doing an internship with the social media team.
Internship, how much do you work a week?
It's still an internship.
I know, but how
Because
many
I haven't
hours?
graduated or
She works
anything, so
30.
Okay.
30.
I work 30 hours a week. You all needed to know
And
that.
finishing school?
And finishing school, yep.
She's working.
So both of your kids have gone to school for something that they can do in Scentsy. And your company right now is failing. You're shutting down factories. You have to change all this stuff to try to make up the money you've lost. I'm pretty sure that you're lying about the statistics you've given here today because it just doesn't match up with the statistics that the SEC and the FTC have in terms of people signing up to these things. I don't understand. So the good news is that hopefully if Scentsy shuts down, they'll both be able to go get a good job elsewhere. The issue is that this is running very much like how Scientology would raise somebody in Scientology and then send them off to work. And it makes me worry for these kids because their whole lives for the last 20 years, neither of them are 20. If they are, they've just turned 20, right? They're graduating college age. So maybe they're early 20s. So all they've known is Scentsy. The entire time they've been alive, pretty much their parents have been in Scentsy and in Mormonism, which is also a cult, by the way. So they have two cults working against them. I worry about them later on in life when they realize that they were brought up in two cults at the same time. I worry about how that will affect them. And like I just brought up, I'm worried about how they've basically been indoctrinated to be Mormons working at Scentsy. And then if Scentsy fails, what are their options? Will they be working for the Church of LDS somewhere? Will they have to kind of like wake up and realize that they're in cults and then rebuild their entire lives? Because there are people that grow up in cults and they don't leave until later on in life. And it can take years to rebuild. Life After a Cult, for example, she left Scientology, the Sea Org, like 15 years ago. And she will still to this day tell you that every day she's still like discovering things. You know, when you are raised in a cult, it's a lot worse than like joining later on in life. It really is, because it's all you know. And as someone that grew up with child abuse, I can relate to trying to find who you are as an adult after you escape something like that and not having anything to reference a time before. Okay, it's very, very hard. And this is what causes people to have my mental health disorder, CPTSD, is things like this. Because of the length of the high control and the abuse that goes on in these cults and whatnot, when you do leave, you leave as just the cult, and then you have to find out who you are. Because you aren't that indoctrinated person that was in the cult. That's not you. You were never allowed to become who you were meant to be because it was stealing everything from you and just making you into this robotic cult member, right? So when they do leave and you go to get help, it's like a lot of people, when they go through a traumatic experience, they live life, a normal life. Something traumatic happens. And then after the trauma, they go, okay, I want to be like I was before the trauma. And they have something to reference. They're like, this is who I was before that happened to me. It's a lot harder to do that when there is no reference. When you have nothing to go back to, because that's literally all you've known. So for you, it becomes not like, how do I become the person I was before these things happened to me? It's more of a, I literally have no clue who I am. Because I was just surviving and trying to get through this trauma for so long. I never really was able to become anyone. I don't know what I believe. I don't know what I stand for. I don't know what to think. I don't know. All of what I've learned is that. And I need to get away from that because I have now realized that it's bad, right? It's not a good way to live. Hi, Sam. You've come in at a very interesting time. But it's a lot harder then to kind of get over the trauma, because you're not only just getting over the trauma and then becoming the person you were before the trauma, which hopefully was a healthy person, right? You literally are then building yourself. It's not rebuilding yourself. It's building yourself for the first time. And that's something that's usually done while you're growing up. Right? Most people, I don't know what it's like, but most people, when they're growing up, they're given the ability to kind of go through life, experience things, learn and grow from them, and sort of through that, they discover themselves. That's what like teenage and college years are all about. Your self-discovery. It's a very big thing. And, you know, it's very, very hard when you grow up in like a high controlled environment like that, or in a cult, or with abuse, like it throughout your entire childhood, for example. And then you come out of it and you're like, Jesus Christ, I don't know what's good. I don't know what's bad. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to feel. And I need to now literally do all of the things that everyone in my life has been able to do gradually for the last like 20 years normally. I now have to do them all right now. And I have to like do all these things now as an adult, which anyone will tell you it's easier to learn things as a kid sometimes than it is. You know, that whole expression, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. There's a reason why it exists. And it is a lot harder to build yourself as a person, and I'm speaking from experience, in your 20s than it is to just do it while you're like growing up, like normal people do. Okay. And as someone that I've gone through that in different ways, I can't help but have a lot of empathy whenever I come across somebody who also has grown up in a high control abusive situation, like in a cult, or even with abuse in their home in childhood, or someone that for whatever reason, you know, that growth was kind of like stunted, and then their future holds basically what I've been going through now at the age of 39 for like 19 years. It's not fun. It's not something I would wish on anybody. And it just makes me very sad because I'm like, oh, fuck. Now this person, maybe later on in their life, is going to be met with that awful realization of, I don't know who I am. And now I have to fully build myself as a person. It's very, very hard to go through. And it's, again, not something that I would wish on anyone. And just seeing Heidi and Orville's children in this, hearing them talk about how they went to school for business, how, you know, one's working at Scentsy, she's interning there. And then also knowing that they also come from, you know, the Church of LDS background, I'm just like, oh my God, the things that they are going to have to unpack in future, it's going to be a lot. And I just really hope that if they ever do, like, kind of want to leave these cults in future, that they can be embraced with understanding and empathy and love. You know, maybe remember this live stream here with Heidi and Orville. And I mean, you're seeing it, you know, like, I don't know if they had any other choice. I don't know if they thought to do an internship not at Scentsy, you know? And that's just so sad. That makes me sad. Sam says, I grew up surrounded by an ethnicity that thinks they are superior and have a sense of entitlement. Is that a cult? It can be. It can be. I broke away and keep to myself now. I mean, it could be. Was it the white? But it could be. It could be. But also, there's also abusive family situations that people have to walk away from often. You know, and that counts. If you grew up in a home with a lot of abuse, especially your parents being abusive, you probably grew up in a similar controlled environment and in the same fight and flight mode as somebody who grows up in a very high control cult. One of the things that I think the community is really kind of realizing is that growing up in a cult is child abuse. And so these things are very, very similar, and how people recover from being in a cult is extremely similar to how people recover from being in a domestic violence situation or from growing up with a lot of child abuse in the home. Because it's the same tactics that are used by cults to control that abusive situations use, like abusive parents use to control their children, or even domestic violence situation where maybe a boyfriend or girlfriend or non-binary person, whatever gender you are. I'm not trying to be politically incorrect. I'm sorry, I'm just not good at it. It's like, I'm just not good at political correctness, okay? But like, if they're abusing their significant other, it's very much the same sort of thing. And the victim will go through very much similar fight and flight response. And that can even lead to physical symptoms later on in life. Like not only just mental health issues, but it can even lead to, they've connected it with issues with your nervous system. Because if you're growing up in a situation like that, or you're in one for any period of time, I don't know if there's a time limit. And this is part of the problem, is some people seem to think that in order for something to be traumatic, it has to be really, really bad and it has to go on for a very, very long time. And that's not necessarily the case. Everybody has a different tolerance for what they can deal with. And I know it's scary to hear, but every single human being also has kind of a tolerance for what can make them go insane. Everybody could be just one step away from losing it, right? It's very, very personal. So I don't know if it's fair to put like a time limit on how like long the trauma has to go on for. All I know is that if it was a shorter experience, they tend to say it's more of a PTSD thing. And if it's a longer experience, then you end up with CPTSD. So they kind of distinguish it in their diagnostic criteria for the mental health disorders. It's same with like DID. DID is very weird about that too, where it will be like really long abuse. And it's like, well, I don't know if that's fair to really put a time limit. But I guess we need it for that kind of criteria, right? So I guess that's what we kind of base it on. But you could be in a cult for 3 months, be extremely, extremely abused, and then probably still end up with something like CPTSD, again, depending on just who you are and what you can tolerate. And it's not about being weak or strong, because we're talking about abuse. And I don't think anyone should have to be strong enough to endure abuse. So that's another kind of like misconception that people have, I believe, as well, when it comes to these things. That's something else I think we have to be really careful about when we're talking about this, Just my thoughts on the matter. So it's like, it's like just so difficult because again, there's no time limit. There's no way to really like tell someone like, hey, be weary of these things, or like we're always kind of trying our best at doing these things, right? But when it comes to this kind of trauma, it's almost like it stops someone from being able to grow and learn because they are in like a constant state of survival mode and just trying to survive. And, in the case of something like an MLM, they can do that to people too. Maybe not to the extent that something like growing up in Scientology can do to you, or, if you grew up in Children of God, that was probably awful. But like MLMs in the same way will take people and kind of stop their growth and then put them on the path to just growing in terms of how to be good in their MLM. And even that I find to be very similar to kind of, I don't know, regressing people, stunting their growth, making it difficult for people to become who they're supposed to be or who they could have been had these things not happened to them. Right? Because at the end of the day, too, when you grow up with that kind of thing, that's all you can really do is go, okay, now I need to learn how I can become the person who I should have been had these things not occurred to me. And that ends up being sort of your goal, which isn't a bad goal to have in life, by the way. It's quite a good goal. I think everyone should in their life kind of be like, how can I be the best person I can be? And if you kind of live life like that, maybe, you know, you'll be decent or something. I don't know. But it just makes me sad when I see people that have kind of like grown up like this. And this is a doozy because I feel like this, you got the Mormon cult, you got the Scentsy cult. There's just a lot of cult going on here for these kids. And yeah, it is eerie seeing them being like paraded on the screen. Like, come tell everyone about your internship at Scentsy and how great it is. Because you love being our kid with us working at Scentsy because you get to work there. It's all just very eerie vibes. So I hope that, you know, these guys end up okay. And I also hope that one day they can find out who they would have become had these things not controlled their lives. And I can't say that for sure they were forced into this. But what I can say is they have had indoctrination their entire life. So I'm not sure if we could call it an informed decision. You know, does that make sense? You know, like I kind of said earlier, I don't know if they had the choice to go and do this at another company. And when it's all you know, too, you know, it's going to kind of push you in that direction. Jelly Snack says people can be stuck in an adolescent state for a long time if they're in a traumatic situation like a cult or MLM. Exactly. Exactly. It will basically stop your growth whenever you join. You know, it's kind of like people say when you go through something traumatic, again, you end up sort of stopping your growth at that point in time. So there's this thing where people say, you know, sometimes if you experience trauma when you were a teenager, then you might end up stuck in like an adolescent state of mind. If it's a child, you might, in high stress situations, regress back to a child state of mind. Right? And that's because, again, your coping skills and mechanisms and all the tools that people usually learn gradually throughout their life weren't really given to you. So until you learn them, right, you're not going to be able to handle life, basically. And that's why this is sad, because it's like it just makes life so much harder to handle for these kids.
Working hard.
Is it okay
So-
if you tell them what you work
Trying
on?
to get through it.
Let's keep it a secret. You guys can guess. How about that? How about all of you guess, and then we'll
So let's at least do the
Oh yeah, we're playing a game.
category, social media.
yeah.
And I will tell you,
She's in social media, but what she does
Yeah.
is
we've got a great social media
kind of a
team.
secret. Yeah.
But when Grace showed up, it was
Well,
noticed.
There's a podcast that I listen to that the host is anonymous. She's kind of anonymous in her posting. So
What's really kind of fascinating to me as we, you know, you're seeing our two youngest kids, and those of you who've been around for a while, you remember them as toddlers almost
yeah.
at the
She used to
SFR in
run around the
2009.
farm. We have pictures of her when we first started carrying chickens, running around.
Oh yeah.
But we met at Spring World Tour, we met
See? Their whole lives.
at World Tour so many children of consultants who have signed up. And on incentive trips, children of consultants who have signed up and then earned incentive trips. So second generation consultants.
Oh God. This makes me want to scream. Oh, I hate this.
Earning incentive trips. And now we have second generation children of ours that are getting involved in the business and teaching us a lot. I mean, we are kind of fuddy-duddies. Well, I am anyway.
We are.
We named Orville and you're bald. It's really tough to connect with.
We actually turn to the young people a lot for
Lord.
inspiration, advice, anything, because, it is a different generation. So,
Yeah,
It's fun for us, for
Yeah.
sure.
so 4 out of 5 of our
That's the thing, is that we actually are on the exact time when, people's children, they were in this thing for 20 years, which there are people, then their children are now of age to join. And that's a scary thought. Scary thought.
kids are involved directly, and even our 5th daughter who doesn't live here and is not involved directly,
helps a ton.
we are always,
They're like, we make all of our kids help us with Scentsy. Even the ones that don't live here that aren't involved, we still force them to do it.
because she's not involved directly, she has like this outside view of everything, and so she's such a good sounding board. So yeah, our kids are getting super involved and we love it. And
I wonder if she's anti-MLM. Hit us up if you're out there.
they're really smart and they're helping us a great deal. And it's better that you work for your money than just get it for nothing, right?
Yeah. She works hard too. You're
I
a
try.
hard worker, yeah.
And because it is my parents' passion, I feel like all of us kids have seen how hard they've worked and how their dream has come true through Scentsy, and how lucky we are as children to be raised with Scentsy and have them let us be a part of it, because it's so fun to see
You're awesome.
everything.
Yeah.
Like, I just love it.
Yeah.
So
It's awesome. We love you. Thanks for being on.
thanks
Yeah.
for letting me say hi to everyone too.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
am going to
Change your
go now. So-
sweatshirt.
Okay.
She looks like almost like a perfect mixture of both of them put together. You could like see it.
Take care. Bye-bye. Okay. Melinda, my daughter sells under me and is pregnant with her first child, and we kid around is the, and it's, well, the first part is good.
It went away. Here, let's see if we can find it real quick. If we can't,
Oh, well, they're Mormons, so they have a whole bunch. I'm not actually sure exactly how many though.
move on.
Any info on bingo?
Bingo was mentioned at World Tour, but not much information. Can you please tell us? Bingo, anyone? The magic people at Scentsy, bingo.
Oh, they do
We'll
have
see
five,
if they tell us anything. Bingo
Okay, I was like, I think it's only 5. Yeah, 5.
was one of the challenges, I know, and so we
They just mean 5th daughter, as in like it's the 5th, it's the youngest, and it's a daughter. I think that's more. That was because they don't have 5 daughters. Because that did mess with me too. But that's why I was like, wait, I have to go double check that now. Because yeah, what? But I think that's what they mean. Because I was like, no, because they have the son. I thought they had 5 kids. I believe they have 5 kids. That's what it says on the website and everything.
said, we invited you all to take part in the
Yeah, that was
challenge.
weird wording,
I don't know. Does it start tomorrow?
right?
Yeah, I apologize.
Right? I mean, let's be real. The Mormons tend to have 5 kids.
We didn't get that briefing. And I know that we mentioned it, but
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know.
I love this. Nancy said, our 10-year-old daughter has called herself a mini wax boss for almost 4 years now. It helps with samples. It is one of my favorite things to hear the story of,
It's kind of funny because, like, I technically come from a family of 5, and I'm the middle one. And my mom comes from a family of 5, and she's the middle one. Because technically, yeah, my grandma had 5 kids. My bio mom had 5 kids.
children supporting their parents in their business.
Being part of, well,
And then
and
loving
or daughters and moms, like I got to work with my mom for many years in Scentsy before she passed away, and it was the best. I absolutely loved it. Okay, bingo launches tomorrow.
See why it's a problem? This is why we can't let the children join.
It will be on your workstation, so look for it on your workstation.
Oh God, I don't at all miss the Scentsy workstations. And here's the thing, the damn thing used to crash. All right, we would have a sale going on because I was only in it for like 6 or 7 months, but we had a couple sales going on at the time. Yeah, at least a few. So there would be like some sale going on, right? And or they would be doing something like bring back the bar or something where like a lot of traffic would be happening on the website allegedly. And it would like crash and like not work properly. And you would be like, what the hell? And the workstation would crash all the friggin' time when you were trying to like do stuff. So annoying. Don't miss it at all.
Okay, that's it for us.
But again, their Scentsy workstation is similar to what like On Passive wants their ecosystem to be. Like you go in the back, you have access to all the marketing materials, you have access to videos to teach you how to do stuff, you have access to merch to buy, and then you can also buy all the products through it. Like it's basically the OES for Scentsy.
Love you. Thank you for choosing to be a part of Scentsy. And
I love you. No, you don't. You probably don't like me at all, Heidi.
we want to congratulate everybody who promoted this month. Woohoo!
There's one
Way to go.
criticism, and I think it is a good one
Okay.
to address.
Okay.
So it launches March 1st, but the details will come out on March 3rd.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So part of that is,
Yeah.
part of that is it's a weekend,
Okay.
right?
So then why wouldn't you do it before the weekend? It seems weird that the changes start before the details come out. Is that just me?
And trying to maintain.
So when somebody
some-
said, will it really be out on the workstation tomorrow because it said 3/3? So,
Yeah, so if it's an incentive, it's going to be the kind of activities that you already know you should be doing. And I think that's the reason why 3/3 is okay. I mean, I'm kind of with you on that. Maybe we should have had it prepared, and we can work on that. And maybe it is, maybe,
because they
yeah.
mentioned it at World Tour, so.
And maybe it's going to be addressed
don't
on
know what's
Monday in
going
a
on.
bigger way than we know,
They seriously, they don't know what's going on with anything, these two. It's ridiculous.
but,
Yeah.
just, you do what you know you need to do, and you're gonna be okay. It's gonna be a long enough incentive that those 2 days hopefully don't matter. But I get your point.
Okay.
I think.
Michael is saying he was told March 3rd was incorrect in the World Tour script. They told him that it will be in the workstation March 1st.
Okay,
Okay.
so,
Because I'm over here like, yeah, like, can't they set it up before the weekend? And like schedule the post? Like, a little confused. Like, this seems a little ridiculous. Yeah, that makes more sense.
here's an example of a problem
Orville doesn't make sense. He has no clue what the hell's going on.
correcting itself
Yes,
as the problem is being
live,
exposed.
Right
Yeah.
live.
So the team saw that, and I shouldn't have, I just wasn't very supportive.
It's okay.
I should have said, no. Our people are too smart for that.
Yep, it starts on 3/1 tomorrow.
Yeah, you're kind of dumb, aren't you?
Watch for it in your workstation, and good luck to you all. Good luck.
And thank you, Scentsy Home Office, for being ready for this new catalog
Good luck to you all. Why did that feel so condescending?
season and finishing up a great
Yeah.
catalog season. There's so much work that goes into producing our catalogs, getting the products ready to
No,
ship.
that's right.
all of the promotions that change, all the software changes, everything that has
Everything,
to
yeah.
happen.
People stay up all night trying to change the product.
They're working around the
So,
clock.
yeah.
Once again, this isn't a flex. I've said it 100 times. Being like, we force people to work all night long and have awful, unethical working conditions is not the flex you think it is.
Yeah.
And I will attest that
Surely one day these MLM people are going to learn that, right?
their hearts are in the right spot and they do excellent work. Scentsy couldn't have done what it's done over the last 20 years had it not been for consultants that not employees that are not
Obviously. I mean, they're the ones that pay all the bills, right?
only good at what they do, but their hearts are in the right place, they're dedicated, and they love you.
Yeah.
And,
They do it with heart, don't they all?
And thank you, Veronica and Michael Borg, tonight for being on here and helping us out for some of the questions we didn't know. Thank you. So, okay, thank you all for joining us, and we will post the video here first. Is that where?
If I
yeah,
can.
Okay. Okay, and if you can't, then
Jesus Christ, you do videos on there all the time. Why wouldn't you be able to post this one? Like, it's just ridiculous. They're like, let's act like we don't know how to use anything on the internet anymore. We just don't know technology now.
and it will be posted somewhere. You'll see it. You'll start seeing it around. out there.
okay, we love you.
Love you. Good
Have
night.
a great March. Bye-bye.
Have a great March. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you so much for nothing. So, that was the announcement that they did. And people in Scentsy were not really excited about it. They were a little bit upset. Now, I have found this lovely lady who we are not going to be making fun of. I'm going to stop you right now. Do not make fun of this person. Because and their name is Bright House Scents, and they uploaded this video entitled, Let's Talk Scentsy Changes and Why I Canceled My Scentsy Club. We are not watching this video to pick on this person. If anything, they're a victim in Scentsy. So let's not do that. We are going to watch this video, and I'm going to speed it up a little bit. It's 20 minutes long. We should be able to get through the whole thing. And then we're going to read the comments. But we're going to watch this video because I think that it's a really good, honest reaction for somebody who is in Scentsy. Also, you'll notice she doesn't have a lot of subscribers. Okay, I don't know how big her Scentsy team is, if she has one or whatever. I guess we'll find out. But she has 1.13 thousand subscribers. Therefore, I feel like she is a great representation of the typical person who would be signed up in Scentsy. She's a good representation of your typical first level hun that's been in Scentsy for a little while and has loved the business, and now this news has come out and this is what they think. And I think it's important that we take a look at that because it will be a very transparent, honest representation of what somebody in this company who just got all of this news about all these changes would actually feel like. So without further ado, let's get into it. I wonder if this is Scentsy right here. I don't have them all memorized.
Hey everyone, it's Melanie here from Bright House Scents, and I wanted to just have a casual chat about the recent Scentsy changes that were announced. So I kind of want to just express how I'm feeling and then sort of hear how you're feeling and that kind of thing. So of course, I don't think anyone's happy about these changes. There's a lot of things that, Scentsy is changing now and has consistently been changing, you know what I mean? the last set of changes before these changes, I got pretty enraged. Like Scentsy changed some things that really enraged me. One of the big things was the 6-bar bundle. So we used to be able to get 6 bars for the price of 5, and you could use a half price host reward and get that at half price. So it's in Canada, it's $40 for the 6 bars, and we'd be able to use a half price item and get that for $20. So I was like, okay, for $20 for 6 bars, that's a reasonable price. I'm happy to pay it. And it allows me to like purchase, you know, the scents that I want to purchase and the quantity I want to purchase and like do my YouTube videos, do my reviews that I love to do, right? At a reasonable price. Then they changed that and you could no longer get the 6 bars for $40. You could still get 6 bars, but you had to pay full price for them. And then you could do them as the half price item. So that increased the price to $24 instead of $20. So, okay, it's $4, but that was enraging for me because that's how I...
Don't do that to her. That's so mean. Thomas says, not picking on her, just an observation. She sounds like Joyce Sparkles. Don't do that to her. Also, Lord, that's not a name that I have heard in a long time.
Buy all my wax. So I'm like, well, that's an extra $4 every time I do a 6-pack and use a half price item for that. So, I mean, it ends up being a lot more money, right? So that enraged me. I was like, why are we doing this? It's like, why are we penny pinching? And why don't we just give our consultants and customers and hosts, whoever hosts a party, these extra benefits, right? So I got enraged last time. And at that time, I was like, you know what? I need to just kind of like disconnect myself from Scentsy. I'm still a Scentsy consultant and I still buy the products and all that. I still love the products, but I was like, I can't hold it so tight because Scentsy is a corporation, you know, like back when I started with Scentsy, which is like over 10 years ago, it was smaller. It was still massive, you know, but it was on a smaller scale. It wasn't like global like it is now. And it felt more like family-ish than, you know, now it's a corporation. Scentsy is like global, right? Scentsy's everywhere. I'm sure that they're probably the largest wax retailer.
Yeah, it's probably been everywhere for the whole time. I'm just saying, it's been global for almost the whole time.
In the world, maybe? I mean, is it possible to say that? Not like, could they be selling the most wax in the world? Like, I don't know the numbers, but I would have to say, yeah. They have a deal with Disney. They're featured in the Disney parks. Do you know how difficult it is to get yourself featured in a Disney park? I mean, that's no joke, right? So at the end of the day, this is a corporation and there are shareholders that need to be appeased. And how do we do that? How do we continuously raise the income and the revenue every year?
There we
look
go.
at the main product that we sell, which is wax, and we increase the price. And if we don't increase the price, then we can't consistently bring in all that extra money, right? So it's like, that was what happened the last time. I got enraged and I was like, okay, I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to continue with Scentsy as I do. And then, you know, if I have to make changes, then I'll make changes. So then, okay, now fast forward now to like these new changes. I'm like, Scentsy, oh my gosh. For me, I don't feel rage because I'm like, I let it go the last time. But if I hadn't, I would feel rage. I laughed when I read it. I was like, wow, Scentsy is ruthless. Like, Scentsy is making cutthroat changes. Like, Scentsy does not give a fuck. Like, honestly, excuse my language, but like, Scentsy they don't. And they don't need to. Like,
and here's the thing. They never did. They never did. They just pretend to.
That's the whole thing that I feel like at this stage, Scentsy doesn't really need to care because they have the market, right? Like they, you know, who cares if they hear me, one consultant, be like, oh, I'm not happy with the changes, right? Like, they're like, yeah, we have hundreds of thousands of consultants all over the world. Like, we're good. You know what I mean? Like, they don't need to care anymore. So that's just my opinion. Maybe they do care, but at the end of the day, they're a corporation, right? And a corporation needs to make money. And
yeah, they're a very large corporation that doesn't want to spend on marketing much and doesn't want to pay employees to distribute or sell their products. So they decided to be an MLM as a big corporation. That's all MLMs are. Hi, Angel. 2 hours late and dropped in just in time to hear her say, what in the fuck? And I thought, yes, that's right. That's right. And that's the thing is that all of the MLMs, this is their goal. They don't actually care. Like, otherwise, it wouldn't really, the MLM business plan would not be set up the way that it is. Now, is there a way to set up a plan like that and make it so that people can make a livable wage? I don't personally think so. There are some people that do think so. But either way, I think we can all agree it's not working out right now how it is.
What's the best way to do that, right? Like, take your product, which is wax, and just increase the prices. So, okay, I'm not going to go through all the changes, but like the basic gist of the change is if you're a customer, to get your half price rewards and your host rewards when you host a party, you have to just spend more, right? They've increased the amount of how much you have to spend in order to get those. So that affects the customer and consultants too.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I forever have a party going that like I'm shopping from, and you know what I mean? And I get the benefits from that too. So there's that. We as consultants can get like extra commission bonuses. So, but you have to sell a certain amount in a month. So they've increased that amount by significant too, not by like $50, by like $500. Like, it's ruthless, cutthroat. Like, what? It's not even like a teeny bump. It's like a massive bump. I laughed. I was like, oh my gosh. For me, I don't run Scentsy like as a business, really. I do have tons of customers that purchase from me. But like,
and I feel like what she's saying here, and again, we'll go through her comment section afterwards because it's quite eye-opening. But what she's saying here is how a lot of people felt that were in Scentsy.
These have been people that have been purchasing from me for years, and I get new customers here and there and stuff, but I run Scentsy as like fun. I want to get my products cheaper because I use a lot of wax. So that's why I do Scentsy. And if I make sales and if I have customers, that's great. That means like I'm just going to get more for less, right?
And this is the thing, is that most people that are in Scentsy think of it how she thinks of it. Right? And so I feel like she's a good representation of what most people in Scentsy would be feeling with these changes.
But I don't run it like a business. I'm not trying to like make money from it. I'm not trying to do all those things. But there's people and consultants that I know, friends that I have that run it as a business, right? And it's like when you make these massive changes, for those people especially, I think it like really has an impact for me. I'm like, I'm just trying to get cheaper wax, y'all. I'm just trying to get cheaper wax. That's what I'm trying to do over here. So Scensy's like, no more cheap wax. So which is fine. So yeah, that's one of the changes. And then they're removing like bundles from the website, and they're giving 10% off as opposed to like bundle and save. So the Scentsy bars is like the main change. Again, you can get the 6-pack of Scentsy bars for us in Canada. It's 6 for $40. So you can get that, but you can no longer get that on the website. If you're going to buy 6 bars, you get 10% off as opposed to 6 for $40. So it's a difference of like $3, I think, or something along those lines. It's not a massive difference, but yeah, maybe.
But it also adds up, right? You have to think a lot of these people are buying that monthly. And there's a lot of people that are distributors in Scentsy that are also buying that on ownership monthly. And it does add up along with all the other expenses. Because for a lot of people, like that was the way that they stayed up on bars. If you were like a kick-ass consultant in Scentsy, then every single month you would be getting like that bundle of bars so that you could get like the new catalog ones coming out that month. And then you would also be getting the like scent of the month box thing and the warmer of the month thing. Like they want you to get all of that because again, attraction marketing. The idea is that you get the products, you then use those products and show them, do an unboxing with your audience, and then they'll want to buy the products. And so when you're a consultant in this, they do heavily push these monthly things, like the monthly warmer and scent box. And then also, like I just said, you get new scents every single month. So a lot of the consultants liked that bar deal because it was a great way to get 6 of the new scents monthly, right? Because you get the scent of the month. So you would just have to figure out what was the scent of the month going to be and then order like 6 of the other scents because usually they come out with a whole bunch of them every month, right? Or every like few months they come out with like 50 new ones. So, if you do that every month, then you pretty much get the whole new catalog. because it's also about getting your stock up. Because the other thing that these businesses, the people that run their Scentsy account like a business, one thing that they do, again, is they want to have it in their backgrounds. So their background will be shelves that will be full of the product, right? And then it looks really good because it looks like you love it. You're buying it up, you know? And then you also have all of these things you can pull off the shelf to use for your live streams where you're supposed to be selling this stuff to people, you know, because they tend to have like a bunch of scents that are kind of like staples that are kind of always available. And then every like month they release new ones. And then every like season, it tends to go by season. Like they have like the spring collection, the summer, the winter, like, you know what I mean? Then they have like the holiday stuff, like, you know, and all of the other, like Easter's coming up. They're probably already starting to do that, right? And they kind of are. I've seen some things. So again, you want to have as much of that stuff as possible for your background as well if you're like in this business. So all of these like sales is again how, yeah, they all got their products for their business and for personal use. And now it's going to be a little bit more expensive. That adds up over time if you're doing that every month. And I think that, you know, that's an issue. It's like you spend enough over here, you know?
You're only buying 1 6-pack of bars, but it's like when I go in for my like 6-pack, I'm not buying one, I'm buying 2, 3, 4, 5 packs of 6 bars, right? And I have customers that do that too, where they're like, I'm just going to stock up on all my Christmas scents. Let me get 4 6-packs of bars, right? So if you're paying the extra 10%, like the extra, you know, dollars on that, it adds up is what I'm trying to say. So then, but you still can get 6 for $40, but you have to go directly through me. I'm sorry, what? No. I don't want that as a consultant. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to enter all these orders. I pay $18 a month for my website. For me to have my Scentsy website, brighthouse.scentsy.ca is my website, and I pay $18 a month for that.
Wow. So, when I was in it, it was like $10 a month. Why'd it go up so much?
What? Why am I? No. So now all my customers, and they know about the 6-pack deal, that's what they buy. They're going to be like, hey, Mel, since I can't place my own order on the website, can you do this for me? And I'm going to be like, yeah, girl, of course I can do this for you. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of like, I pay for my website, so you could just go do it yourself. Like, I teach my customers how to navigate. I'm like, this is where you need to go. This is how you do it. Do what you do. Right? Like as a customer myself, I'm not shopping during reasonable hours. I might be sitting on my couch at 11:30 at night and like clicking through a website, doing some online shopping. I do not want to have to like write down all the things I want and then message my consultant and be like, hey, can you put this order in?
Right. Because then that's the other thing, right? Now, if they're not able to do it on the website, they're all going to be reaching out to you. So if you have, let's say, 30 clients, customers, 30 customers that are all buying this via the website, now every month you have 30 people that want you to put an order in. And here's the thing is that it's not like you get extra. So maybe there could be an incentive with it if, like, for whatever reason, you got a little bit extra commission if you're the one inputting the order instead of them ordering off the website. But there is no difference. So it's really just more work for the consultant for the same payoff, except it's not as cheap for them. So, you know, I mean, they're going to want to go through you. So now there's like a chance that every single new consultant too that wants this is going to have to go through their, oh God, it's going to be a mess.
But then, of course, I want clearance items, but I can't get clearance items. Or I want flash sale items, but I can't get flash sale items through the consultant workstation. So, like, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So I feel like as like a customer, that's not great. As a consultant, though, it's also not great. For me, I'm like, I pay $18 for my website so people can go shop on their own. I don't need them to message me to tell me what bars they want. Like, clickety, click, click, and keep it moving, you know? And like, does that make me a bad consultant? No, I show my customers how to shop at their own leisure. And if they want me to place an order for them, I will. But now I have no choice and they have no choice. And I'm like, no, Scentsy, no, I'm not here for it. So, but I'm not enraged. In fact, I laughed out loud. I was like, wow, it's ruthless. It is ruthless. Like Scentsy wasn't even trying to make like incremental jumps. It was just like, bam. Oh
Wow.
man, they don't give a fuck.
Nope.
And they don't have to. And that's what makes me laugh. It's like, yeah, they don't have to care, right? Like they have market share. Anyways, okay.
No.
So how does it impact me and what choices am I making? Am I not going to be a consultant? No, I'm definitely going to stay a Scentsy consultant for now. And I mean, that might change down the road, but for now, yeah, I love Scentsy. The products are great. And I use other products, not just the wax, but for the most part, I use the wax. Their warmers are so beautiful too. But you know, I can find warmers anywhere. Really, it's the wax that I love. I have some Scentsy favorites. They come out with all kinds of new stuff all the time. I love that. I love being able to order something new, try something new. I love doing reviews on my channel. I love smelling through all the new things. Even if I don't like them, it's still like a fun experience to smell through everything. So for me, I'm going to remain a consultant. I am going to continue to pay the $18 for my website, because if you don't have a website, when the flash sales happen or the clearance sales happen, those types of things can't be inputted in the workstation behind the scenes. You have to go through the website.
Yeah,
so if I don't maintain my website, people can't shop during those sales. And of course, that's like a big portion of, you know, when people shop with me. So I'm going to continue to pay. And of course, I'm going to reach out to all of my customers and be like, hey, let me know how I can place the orders for you so you can save the extra money. Like, you know, I'm more than happy to do that. And I'm going to make sure that, you know, I continue to provide that for people that love that option. But what I've changed now is like, okay, I want to spend less with Scentsy. I'm still going to spend, and I'm still going to be here for Scentsy, but I want to spend less because I feel like you're giving me less, and I feel like I need to give less. I would rather spend a little bit more with vendors, you know, with small businesses, that type of thing, as opposed to Scentsy. So I canceled my clubs. I'm like, it's going to be one of two things. Either I keep my clubs and keep my faves and I don't try the new things, or I cancel my clubs and I continue to try the new things, right? Because I'm not doing both anymore. I've decided for me, what makes sense for me is I don't want to give Scentsy as much. And that means I either get rid of the clubs or I don't purchase the new things. And I'm like, I like purchasing new things. I like trying new things, like finding new, you know, it's fun. So I'm like, I got to get rid of the clubs then, because I'm not doing both. Scentsy not getting both aspects of my money. Really, like, that's what it comes down to. I feel like if we continue to spend, then Scentsy just continues to make these changes, right? It's only when we stop spending and they're like, whoa, revenues dropped significantly the day that we made this announcement, or like, whoa, a bunch of consultants canceled their websites or pulled their clubs or whatever it is. It's the dollar amount that speaks, right? Because they don't hear us. I called. I called them. I was like, hey, I saw the changes, and I was super nice about it, right? Because I'm not enraged about it. I'm really not. So I was like, hey, I saw the changes, and like, obviously I'm not happy. I don't think anyone is. Is there anyone that I can express my opinion to? And they were like, yes, definitely. Thank you so much for your call. You can put the your opinion in the idea share, which is like an area for consultants to like just share ideas that they have, whether it's about like new things they want to see or, you know, complaints. So I said, great, I will do that. But I feel like those ideas don't get listened to, like, because no one ever responds to them. Nobody acknowledges them. Like Scentsy doesn't respond to them or acknowledge them. So they're like, oh no, the higher ups read it. I'm like, but do they though? Because I've left many ideas there and I've never had an acknowledgement. So I said, I would like to like speak to someone. Can you transfer me to a manager just so I can feel like I'm being heard, right? Of course, she's like, no,
right, start the revolution.
I can't. And then conveniently, the call disconnected. I was like, try. She disconnected the call on me, but then she called back because I mean, it really was just a disconnected call, but it felt like she was hanging up on me, but she was not. So, and she was super pleasant, right? So there was that. So it's like, yeah, obviously I'm going to put my feedback to Scentsy, but they don't care because they know that this is going to be our feedback and they did it anyways, right? So it's like, there's no consultant that's going to be like, woo.
They did. That's the thing. Orville did say, and I know that some people are going to be upset. So like they did know and they didn't care. She's right.
Yeah, let's get behind these changes, right? So, I mean, if they do, they're drinking some Kool-Aid because like the changes are not good. They don't benefit us. So, okay. My decision.
I want to talk about drinking Kool-Aid. It's like she was so close.
Where I was trying to go with this whole video was, why did I cancel my clubs? Okay, so I have 2 clubs. I get them quarterly. One is like my husband's club and one is mine. My husband's. They're both mine. I keep them super minimal. I don't really go over 15 bars. Usually it's like 10 bars, maybe 12 bars. And then it's just sort of enough so that I can get a half price item, because when you spend $80 in your club, you can get a half price item. You get 10% off your bars in your club. Like it's good. So, and it's a little less shipping than the regular shipping price. So it's good. So I have 2 clubs. They're quarterly. So I get them, 3 times a year, 4 times a year or something. But each club. So that I would say my clubs usually cost me, once I factor in the half price item and I'm forever throwing something like some new bar or something into my club, by the time I do all that, most of my clubs are like $200. Okay. So I'm doing $200, like does it go 3 times a year or does it go 4 times a year? I think it's 4 times, right? Does it ship 3 or 4 times? I don't know. Either way. I think it's like it ships 4 times a year. So let's say $200 4 times a year, right? That's $800, but times 2 because I got 2 clubs. So I mean, that's a lot of money. It's like $1,600. Maybe, give or take a little bit less, give or take a little bit more. Sometimes I crank a bunch of stuff in my club just because I don't want to place another order. So just put it all.
And this is like typical again, plus the monthly stuff that they buy, right? It's a lot of money.
All in my club, so it's like
I was making like $54, $80 if I had a really, really great month, but I was spending like $200.
I do an in and out club where I just start a club because there's bars I want to get and then I cancel it. So, it's like enough. So I'm like, I can't do both things. I can't have the new things and have the club. So I cancel both my clubs. And I'm not devastated. Now, granted, my clubs are like my faves, right? They're my Mel Smells. These are like my favorite Scentsy bars.
See what else you can cancel and not be devastated by. Come on, you got 1 foot out the door, girl.
Like Vanilla Suede is in there. My Wish is in there. Maui Mist is in there. Crumb Top is in there. Churro. Oh my gosh, Very Merry Cranberry. How am I going to live
Everybody's obsessed
Christmas
with churro
season without Very Merry Cranberry? I've been using it.
They
at
just
Christmas
found out
time
what they
for
were.
like
or something.
10 or 11 years. Like it's nostalgic. I'm so committed to the scent and it has like scent memories. And I'm like, meh, I can't hold on to it that deep. Last time that they made changes, I was upset and I felt pierced. And I was like, I'm holding this too deep. And this time I was like, meh, I just can't. I can't hold it that deep. Scent is scent is scent. There's always going to be a new scent that I like. There's forever a new scent that I like. There's tons of vendor wax that like has similar scents, if not better, to what Scentsy has. So I'm like, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. And I'm not saying I won't start a club again at some point. I might. But right now, the choice that's best for me is to spend less with Scentsy. So that's what I'm doing.
And I think everyone should make that choice across the board. Everybody in the world spend less at Scentsy. You want these changes not to keep getting made? That's how you win. Maybe leave Scentsy altogether. That will really show.
So I cancel both my clubs. Yep. I don't regret it, not for a second. I feel great about this decision. I definitely have thought am I going to continue with Scentsy, down the line? Like right now I am, but I've also many times thought about starting my own wax thing, making my own wax, maybe even selling it, maybe even starting a business. I've thought about that, for many, many years. It's always been something that I've wanted to do. So I'm kind of maybe I'll go that.
You do that. You can reach out to the Recovering Hunbot. Maybe you guys give each other ideas. I think it sounds like a great idea.
Route at some point, not yet, but maybe at some point down the line I'll go that route, or just maybe not even start a business, but just make my own wax melts just for myself because I know what I like to smell. I haven't really decided on that, but I definitely I'm going to remain as a consultant with Scentsy. And I mean, Scentsy's flash sales are great. A lot of times I find amazing wax at super great prices. I still want to purchase through Scentsy. I think some of their collections are great. I love smelling all the new scents, but it has to be less. So ultimately, I've been talking for 20 minutes and all I'm trying to say is I'm just going to spend less money with Scentsy. Okay, so now let's get to the portion where you chime in. What are your thoughts? I mean, I can't imagine anyone is going to comment and be like, I'm thrilled about these changes. I can't imagine that, but hey, I'm open to hearing it if you are. Put it in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know your thoughts. Are you enraged? Are you laughing? Did you did you know it was coming? I mean, I knew it was coming with every catalog that kind of launched.
If you were enraged, I hope that you've gotten over it and that you are able to laugh about it now.
New things, right? So I knew something was coming. I just didn't think it was going to be so ruthless. It's so ruthless. The changes are large. Some of these changes are so large that I'm like, wow, Scentsy, they're just going hard with it. So anyway, they have shareholders to appease. That's what I think. So let me know what you think. Thank you so much for tuning.
Yeah, they just want to make a bunch of money. We're going to give that video a like. Oh, yes, we are. And she asked people to tell her in the comments what they thought. So I think that we should go through that right now. Is there any way I could make this bigger for you guys? Or is it just going to look weird? I don't know. Whatever. So this person says, then give up your business. Your choice. It's like, I think you missed the point of what she was saying, but okay. I'm surprised they have never done a deal on shipping. I don't like that along with everything else. But before this change, I always felt like shipping was outrageous. You know? How did they make party from 200 to 250 in March? Not a seller, but have been a buyer on and off. I have a 3-month club, and every club I order different stuff. I only buy stuff like the flash sale they just had, but I try to keep my club $100 or less, so I don't get very much wax, but it helps to keep me using up all my wax. Great video. This person says, even after knowing the scents are dangerous and the ceramic holders are selling for $4 at thrift shops, odd. This person says, you've been doing Scentsy for a decade and never realized that it's a pyramid scheme? Way to go cutting those emotional ties to your club. That's a tough decision to make. I totally agree with you, one or the other, new stuff or club, but not both. It's just too much. I chose to stop buying new stuff besides the 10 new testers each season because I'm so extremely picky. I realized I actually don't like trying new stuff as much. Something to think about. Thank you for this video. I only joined Scentsy 2 years ago. In the first year, I was doing okay, but I was struggling a bit. I did have a Facebook group page, but I closed it due to not getting any interaction or sales. So I decided to do a messenger group page that was going well. But now it's not. And now with the changes, I'm thinking of leaving, but I've got a Scentsy club and I don't want to lose it. I'm going to see how I go till April. If I'm still struggling, then I'm going to leave. I also do Avon, and I'm doing really well with that. So, if you felt hopeful for Carolyn Battison here, she's with the Avon cult as well. So, this person says, have you actually paid real attention to the changes or have you just reacted? Scentsy is a party company, which is the entire way the business was built and should still be run. The changes are made to enable us to get back to that, to actually build relationships with new customers, not just direct them to a website to click and go. Yeah, more cultiness, basically. The deals are still there, but you yourself have to input those on your workstation, which is great customer service and should be what we are doing anyway. Contact someone from home office directly. They reply, as I have done the same with any issues I have ever had. You might also want to ask them about the shareholders part to actually clarify that. There are lots of consultants that are quite happy quite happy with the changes because it takes the business back to what it should be. What you spend on Scentsy is down to you. You don't have to spend $1,600 on club. That's outrageous in itself for someone that has been in the business for such a long time. It's a shame you can't see the bigger picture, says the person in the cult. Honestly, this person says, if I was still a consultant now, I decide when I'm going to leave and remove all my customers' details from my workstation. Untick that little newsletter box before I go, because I really do believe their plan this year is to get all of those customers' details from you all before they shaft you all and go affiliate. And part of the reason why this person thinks that is because there's a lot of MLMs right now that are going affiliate. Right? And it's because, anti-MLM rocks. Just saying. Your little black books, customer details, and workstation customer details are what I believe they want from you all before they change over. This year is all about consultants building up customer base, they've said. It's so obvious what they're doing. Please plan ahead and make this go in your favor the best you can. Not bad advice. This person says, hey, came here from Aaron B's reaction to your how much I have spent video. So Aaron B's is an anti-MLM creator. Lots of love there for you and ideas for a business reviewing other brands' small business melts online. Explore, make your own, etc. People offering support for a pivot at no gain to themselves at all. Brand loyalty can be built on quality, but equally they can be maintained by habit no one else has. When people haven't tried the competition for so long that they don't know how it compares. Something to think about. What if there is just as good a product, which even at full price is cheaper than the sale price of the Scentsy option? What if it is as good or even as scents that you like even better, and you aren't paying every month for a website link either and other costs, right? I appreciate the buzz of getting an item at a sale price. Anything beats full price. But the whole track with the buy two, get one free or spend over X to get a discount marketing model is that they encourage people to buy more than they intended originally. I'm so close to the discount, but I need more item. But how often does that item cost more than the discount we got? Exactly. That's the thing, right? But I still spend less than the cost of those 5 items at full price. But you only set out to buy 3. Added the 4th to cross the threshold, and then the 5th at half price. They can afford it as products overpriced to begin with. And instead of spending, example, 30, you ended up spending 45. That's a whopping 50% more than you otherwise would have spent. And the dopamine hit from getting the discount drives us back to those special deals again and again. I know I fall for it at the supermarket specials. Hey, look how much I save by getting 3 of the pricey ready meals for 2. Must be a good deal, right? But when I stop myself to work it out, those 3 meals still end up more expensive than 3 of the regular ones I might buy. But hey, I got a deal and feel smug. Even with the reduced or clear items, I have to repeat to myself, it's only a saving if I would have got it anyway. Or it's a saving if it means that treat is more affordable. But it's still a treat and still spending money that I would not have otherwise. Now, I agree. This person says, I agree with you 100%. I downsized my club from 24 bars and a half price item to 6 bars a month in club because I also like to try new scents that come out. So I'll just interchange within my club as new scents come out. Everything you said, I feel the same. I'm from Woodstock, Ontario, Canada. Hello, I'm from Ottawa. They're definitely getting less money from me. It doesn't feel like a family anymore. I think when Heidi and Orville left, things started to change and not for the better. This person says, I'm not happy about it for sure. I'll stay a consultant for a while just to see how it goes. My customers complaining about the prices on some of the warmers too. I do Scentsy for the wax bars as well. Thank you for the video. This person says, thank you for video. I'm okay with the all changes except the 20% commissions if I don't reach 250. We were promised 25% for life, not until they want or need to change it. It says on the join page, word for word. And a company going back on their word, I have major concerns, as you should. This person, Megan Smith, says, I think I'm about to quit since now you have to sell $250 to keep being a consultant. I'm not even selling anything. No one wants it. I had to spend $200 last time to keep my account. I have enough wax to have some for years. And I'm sure many people are in Megan's position. Holy cow, when you said you canceled your clubs, girl, you did what I have had my finger on the trigger for months now. And this is why you should speak out about these things. I just have not done it yet. I say after the next shipment, but yes, I feel the same way you do. I'm over it. I'm over cutting out the little people to them. For me, I'm a hobbyist consultant with a couple customers. But how do hobbyist consultants get started? By being the most loyal customers who spend so much on wax, we start to make it an everyday event. We are important. And if I stop being a hobbyist consultant, then I know I will give up on purchasing from them as well. There are so many others to buy from. This person says, so if we don't sign the new contract, that means we quit, right? A pyramid scheme being shady, who could see that coming? And she liked it, so. This person says, I kind of disagree with you on the market share, and they do not have to care if they upset customers and consultants. If they get too greedy, people are going to drop them like a hot rock, and then they will die and be no more. Well, that's a little bit excessive, but okay. There are plenty of places that people can get wax. Even local stores carries anything Scentsy carries, and many vendors that go to craft fairs or have their own side business are easy to find that have wonderful wax and could be cheaper than Scentsy. Many people have to watch the budget, and Scentsy can push themselves right out of the market by people not wanting to pay a premium. Plus, if they are taking away and making it harder for a consultant to make a decent amount of income, which is already hard enough to do in MLMs, right? They will say it is not worth it either and quit in droves. Not to mention all MLMs seem to be struggling. 31 Gift just closed after being in business for 21 years. So I think they better watch it. My last 2 club orders have either been missing items or damaged. Today, Scentsy deleted my club. My consultant is trying to find out why, but I'm like, well, Scentsy just made it easy on me to save money. Oh, well. And I hope that you don't get that club back because you are in way better hands now. We just moved 2 months ago. Boy, I had a wax arsenal. I'm going to make a choice too as a consultant. Number 1, weeks are losing certified consultant status. 2, not happy about monthly website adds up. 3, too much at one time to slam this on everyone. 4, not a word from uplines. My decision may be website versus club. This person says, thank you for talking about this and being so relatable. I have had these thoughts for a while, and I am not a consultant and won't ever be. I've been thinking about making the same changes as you and canceling my club and spending less when I know there are lots of other things out there that are just as great. Like you said perfectly, it can be both. It can't be both. And so it has to be one or the other. I do find it interesting that just last convention, they made a big deal about the bundle and save, and now they are doing away with it. And that's a big thing to do away with for them. These changes are a result of Heidi and Orville coming back into the picture and Dan being pushed out. Dan made it fun, but Heidi and Orville are about business and numbers, not thinking about the effect those have on the customers or consultants. I used to have 2 warmers, and that was enough to go through a whole house. Now you need multiple warmers for each room to smell anything. So this person alleges that they've also changed the making of their warmers. I think this is a mistake on Scentsy's part. I believe head office is feeling this right now. This person says the moment a company stops caring about their customers is the moment they lose their competitive edge. And with the economy the way it currently is, the last thing any company should be shooting for is bringing the fact that they are replaceable to the forefront of customers' minds. Right? Same with me, I'm buying less. I'll do the occasional 1 club and done order just to get a half off the air purifier filter. Only half off of it though. I wish I could get a replacement filter that fits off Amazon. Someone invent that. I think that Scentsy is feeling the burn from people switching over to vendor wax. Maybe if they'd stop these outrageous trips to Cancun for only the star directors, they wouldn't have to scrimp and penny pinch like an old miser to get their customer base. I'm also seeing comments about a breach of contract. This person says, long-time subscriber, first-time commenting. I agree with you. These changes aren't good and don't benefit us at all. I am a consultant and my own best customer, right? To take away commission that we were told we would get from life is just plain wrong. This in no way motivates me to sell more. I didn't become a consultant for that reason. I am, like many others, a person who loved the products and wanted a discount on my purchases. And now I too will be spending less on Scentsy. I don't see how these changes are going to make them more profitable. Anyway, just wanted to say that I love your channel and how honest you are. Woohoo! Another Ontario person. Bingo! I used to be a consultant, but I have a really bad taste in my mouth about MLMs in general. I made zilch. My upline made more on my sales than I did. Great products, but I feel the same as you. This person says, I will be buying less from Scentsy. Scentsy thought they would be making more money by these changes, but in the end, I think it may have damaged them and they don't achieve what they wanted. I felt like Scentsy was a family company and cared about all their consultants. It's why I joined. They have proven that isn't the case. I do love their products, so I'm not walking away completely, but definitely spending way less money. You can get the same products elsewhere. My husband thinks that Scentsy has paid too much for their licensing agreements, and it's biting them in the butt. I think he is right. Interesting. I'm one of those small consultants, and I've been thinking about leaving for a while. I'm very particular about scents, and I waste so much money blind buying and end up being unhappy with most products lately. Poor performance, lack of unique scents, etc. It's just not fun for me anymore. These changes just solidify it for me. And it seems to be solidifying it for most people that are in Scentsy. I am going to share the link to this in my comment section right now. So you can check this video out if you want to, and you can come and read the comments. They go on and on and on like this. People are not happy with these changes, and this just might be the thing that stops Scentsy from being the alleged safe MLM that it's known as. And I would tell you that if you are somebody that is buying their products, please do stop. Okay? Scentsy is a dangerous commercial cult, and it does take a lot from people. Okay? And it needs to end. It is not the safe MLM. It is not good. You can find these products elsewhere, and maybe in future that's what we need to start doing, is finding replacement products for these things and promoting them instead. We need to do more of that over here, and I'll do my best to do that. But please do not buy their products. I assure you that you can get them elsewhere, and you will not be giving false hope to a consultant and helping enable Scentsy to harm them. Because I promise you that this is one of the bitchiest, mean girl, multi-level marketing companies that you could ever be a part of as a consultant. And it needs to stop. I really do hope that these changes do wake up a lot of people. It looks like many people are waking up to this. And so I hope that that continues. You know, and if you are not feeling good about these changes and you're in Scentsy, do make it known. See if they care about you. Because if everyone's unhappy and then they don't change things back, That's really all you need to know, isn't it? I want to thank all of you for coming on this journey with me. We are going to be covering other MLMs, like I said, every Monday. And hey, if it crosses over into Tuesday, then so be it. But I think that is all that we will talk about Scentsy for now. We'll put it on the shelf. I will try to find a bunch of replacement products to let people know where they can get things that are like Scentsy, since it appears that now is the best time. And if you are in Scentsy and you want to leave and you're not sure how to do that, feel free to reach out to me. My email is on my channel. My email is, and I will put it in the chat so that you can email me and ask me how to go about doing that if you need help, as someone that has done it myself. You can email me and say, Queen, I am in this Scentsy thing, and like, I don't know what to do. I don't like these changes. Help. And we can set up a little call, or we can email back and forth, or reach out on social media too. My Facebook, you can find me, Queen of Karma. And I will do my best to help you out and let you know what you need to do to ensure that you shut everything down within Scentsy and then move on with your life. And like I said, maybe if there's something you really like as a product, we can find replacement products for that. And I do think that right now, more than ever, these MLMs are shutting down. And people are waking up about them. We've been at this for several years. So we get a little excited when we see things like this kind of happen, and when the consultants start speaking out about it and realizing that these things don't care about them at all. They don't. So hopefully that keeps happening, and we just got to keep at it, guys. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about on passive again. I have a few things that I want to go over that I think that we should be getting into. And the good news is that I am also finally finishing up the Dr. Benny stream. So I am thinking that maybe I will do my best to get it done this week. But if worse comes to worse, since MLM Monday took a Tuesday from us, maybe on Monday we can take a look at Dr. Benny. We'll see how it goes, but I'm hoping Monday at the latest we'll be able to do that, because I do want to get that done. I think it's important, especially since she's joined Vibe. So there's now 2 MLMs this woman's a part of. So that's what's coming up on the channel. Do check out the community tab. I am posting a lot of cult education stuff over there, where every single day you're going to learn about a cult. And I've been doing this for like over a month now, and I'm not running out of cults to tell you about. And that's problematic in itself. But every day you will learn about a new cult until we run out of them. It's not going to happen anytime soon, apparently. And every Monday you learn about a new MLM cult. And you also get to read up on some information about manipulation tactics that are used and the psychology behind them, or theories about cults and why people stay in them, and all of these wonderful things that you want to learn. That, you know, I do a lot of videos about it, and I talk a lot about it on stream, but I think it's also important to put it in writing and get it out there, because for some people that's how they get their information. So I am doing my best to educate and spread awareness about cults as much as possible. That is the goal this year, and so far in March we are doing damn good. So let's keep it up, let's keep going, and hopefully we can save people one cult at a time. I don't know, but we'll do our best. I love all of you. Thanks for going on this journey for me. We will continue on our journey of speaking out about cults tomorrow. Have a fabulous, amazing evening, and I will see you all tomorrow. Yeah. I love all your faces. Bye!
Queen of Karma, spitting fire like a dragon, torture scams, ain't no lagging. Expose the villains, no chillin', she real, stay killin'. Manipulation tactics, break it down like fractions. Watch your videos, gain traction, mind in action. Suck to her channel, truth candle burning bright, illuminating dark corners, bringing scams to light. Queen of karma, grinding day and night, unveil the schemes, make the world right. Mob mentality, she dissecting the madness, all some realness. Teach you how to stop the fakes, dodging all the ill stress. Her words piercing like arrows, no shadows. Follow her lead, avoid the gallows. Stay woke, folks, don't get caught in the hype. Queen of karma got that insight, clear sight. Deflect the con, scam alarms, bringing street fight. Wisdom flowing, unmasking the night. Karma queen, reign supreme, scammers nightmare, that's her theme. She got the strategy, breaking down your fantasies. Every tactic she witnessed, break free from the sickness. Channel wisdom, slickness, ain't no hit or miss. Sub to her channel, truth candle burning bright, illuminating dark corners, bringing scams to light. Queen of karma, grinding day and